to have the bollocks.
Do you really want to go toe to toe with me on that?
You've completely, like, what are we doing here? Levy isn't going anywhere.
It's all down to timing, isn't it?
Yes, good evening, everybody. How you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Five. It's your Monday night show. We are actually going to be five tonight, believe it or not. Perchy is also joining us because, I mean, if you've been, you're not, but if you were a fly on the wall in a certain WhatsApp group for the last 72 hours or so, you'd understand why. It has been an angry, fiery place to be. And I think everyone wants to get some things off their chest about things that have been said, things that have been, promises that have been made, and claims that have been taken, etc. It's been quite interesting. We hope that tonight's show will bring you, well, there'll be absolutely no peace. It'll be division, and it will be a good representation of the fan base, no doubt, right now, because it is chaos at Tottenham Hotspur. Everyone's at each other's throats. The players don't like the fans don't like the players don't like the players, the manager doesn't like anybody, and nobody is happy. We're going to figure out who's to blame and what the solution is, if we can, if there is one. And we're going to go through it. I'm here, of course, joined with the usual four, Johnny, Stel, Lubo, and...
I think I'm working.
Oh, hang about.
Hang on.
I'll bring you back in a second.
It came too early. Again.
I think you might be on a different show at the same time. Is he in?
I can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
You can hear me, but I can't hear you. Oh, don't.
Okay, log out then. Log out. We're still doing the intro of the show. Don't worry about you. Figure it out and come back in a minute.
All about
absolute donut. Absolute donut.
Don't get this on bloody Sky Sports News, do you?
No.
Oh, Jeff. Hang on a minute.
Gee whiz. Hello. Has he, Jeff? Who's been sent off? Has he? Guys, the guys in the chat, please do smash the like button. Please do hit the subscribe if you haven't already. If you are watching the show and you are not subscribed, but you want to participate in the chat to let everybody know your thoughts, and all you got to do, hit the subscribe. There's no delay. And if it doesn't open up immediately, just hit the refresh button and you should come straight back in. Keep the comment section cool and friendly and polite. Mods, do your modding if possible. And guys, lastly, before I come and find out how the guys are doing, make sure that you have, if possible, followed us on your podcast platform of choice. We're on all of your usual podcast platforms, so give us a follow and a rating. Lubo, how you doing, my man? Good to see you.
Yeah. Good evening. Good to see everybody.
Mate, I can't hear anything.
Okay.
Well, listen, we got to start with a smile, haven't we?
Has he got any sign language?
There's not been much to smile about, but
Mate, this show is like Spurs.
Watch the show and have a laugh. Good evening, all. That's put a smile on my face. Stinker and hook, Perchy, stinker and hook.
Oh my word! Gee whiz. How you doing, Lubo? You okay?
All good. You?
Yeah, good. I'm all right, mate. I'm tired, yeah, but I'm okay, buddy. But I'm okay. Bit sort of, I don't know, just a little bit exhausted, I think, from life, but also from Tottenham at the moment. It just feels like everyone is bickering. Everyone is like, everyone knows there's an issue. No one can really agree on what the issue is. So pizza player blame. I guess we're going to figure it all out. Johnny, how you doing, mate? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm okay. Just to say thank you to everyone who sent me messages after hearing I got robbed. Little bastards, but thanks very much for all your messages. Very much appreciated. Yeah, listen, it's a tough time. 3 defeats in a week. Rachel Reeves' budget. All this stuff that's been going on this week. It's not great. 11 goals being conceded, but worse things have happened. I think most of us, Sean, have. Long-time fans like myself and Lubo have become immune to Spursitis. We have Spursitis, and there is no cure for it. And when the goals were going in, I didn't feel anything anymore. I think I've just become immune to it. But hey.
Yeah. Yeah, well, listen, mate. Apology. Yeah, sorry. Obviously, I know about your problems.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear it on behalf of me as well. But yeah, appreciate everyone who's been nice and kind in that regard. Still, welcome back, mate. How are you feeling?
Yeah, not bad. I just woke up, so give me 5 minutes. I don't know why. I ate something a bit dodgy and it got to me, so I lied down and I actually wanted to stay in bed. That's how I feel about Tottenham.
Mate, you think,
weren't you still? Come on.
You think it's a dodgy stomach, mate? It's bursitis. You've got early stage bursitis.
Yeah,
it can lead to diarrhea, shit coming out your mouth. Anything could happen in this when you've caught bursitis. We've all suffered from it, still, all of us.
Yeah. Nasty reaction to bad input. You know, it is. Look, guys, I don't know where. In fact, the only place to start. I've got a bunch of questions to go through today. Because there's loads of different ways of looking at this one, but I guess we've got to start. The last time we spoke, we were all making predicciones about a certain game at the weekend. I think just the really good news of the weekend or the week so far is that because everybody had a stinker and hooks, I'm still top of the predictions league. Is that right, still?
Let's have a quick check. Predictions. So, Johnny said 2-1 Spurs. Lubo said 3-1 Spurs. Sean said 3-0 Spurs. I said 1-1. So yeah, nothing's changed.
As well. Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
You were closer to being right.
It's closer to being right, but still stinkers.
Yeah, no points. No points for being close.
Now.
Are you all good now, Perch? You okay?
Yeah, I don't know what. I think leaving one and going into the other completely messed my audio settings up on StreamYard. It was saying you're connected, but you're not. I was like, well, I definitely am. But then I couldn't hear anyone. You could see me. It was all a bit of a nightmare. How's it going?
All good.
It was the funniest intro in the world. I'm just doing the intro to the actual show, and every time I bring you in, I can't hear anything. Very good. Very good. Good to see you, Perchy. Listen, let's start with the Fulham game then. Like nowhere better to start than this. Once again, surprise tactics, Lubo, surprise midfield, surprise shape, a new version, an unseen, untested template with Kudus in the middle, and then the three youngsters. Was it the three youngsters? I think it was. With a two-man at the top. And we got to see more of your man. Porro back in at right back, stinker and hook. I mean, talk to me, mate. Talk to me. Terrible opening 2 minutes, opening 5 minutes as well. Couldn't have been worse, could it?
That was dreadful, wasn't it? You know, I think he picked the team a lot of people wanted. Porro at right back. Spence dropped out. Udogi, so you had your two attacking fullbacks. Kudus came back. He kept the legs in midfield with Gray and Bergvall. Kept the two up front, the two up top that had scored 3 in Paris. And I was really looking forward to it. And, you know, I just felt if this team has anything about it, they'll carry on the momentum from Wednesday night. I know we lost. I know we let in 5 goals, but we actually scored 3 as well. It was a 2-goal defeat. And I thought the team acquitted themselves fairly well for particularly the first half on Wednesday. And it was just a question of taking it back in, taking it on to Saturday. And the first 2 minutes, I mean, you had Danso's header to nowhere, well, to Fulham. The quick ball out to the left winger, and before you know it, the ball was across. Porro got beaten. Gray didn't cover. Bergvall slipped, and they're 1-0 up. So you got 4 people to blame. The second goal was horrific from Vicario, and before you know, 2-0 down in 6 minutes, and I think the confidence just drained out of them. The fans were angry. Vicario got booed twice, and then there was a sarcastic cheer when he came out and cleared the ball upfield. Which, although I understand fans are really pissed off, I'm pissed off. We're all pissed off with what's going on currently. It doesn't help the players. It's really counterproductive to be booing the players during the match. First time, we've heard that, I think, since Davinson Sanchez.
Emerson Royal, and Davinson Sanchez, disgraceful behaviour.
And, okay, boo at half-time, boo at full-time.
Yeah. But
not during the match. Let's lift the players. I know it's a chicken and egg situation, isn't it? A lot of people say the players have got to lift the fans. The fans are spending a lot of money 60,500 again on a Saturday night after 2 heavy defeats against Fulham, who, you know, no disrespect, are not the most attractive of teams when you consider all the clubs in the Premier League. I thought there was going to be 55, 56. There was 60,500. We were literally 600-700 short of the attendances against Chelsea and Man U. So full marks to the fans for coming out. It's just poor. It is just poor. And I said I went on Sava's watch along before the game, and I basically said that if there is unless we win comfortably, I've really got to reassess how I look at the strength of this squad. I honestly thought we'd be in it for 6th place, 10th, 12th at best at the moment with this squad. I do hope we get Kulu back. I hope they're able to get 1 or 2 players in January, but don't know. There just doesn't seem to be any. There's no identity. There's no structure. You know, there's structure at the back. Well,
is there?
But there's, you know, you can't say
we conceded yet another goal in exactly the same fashion as we've conceded about 15 this season. Every time, mate, edge of the box.
It should have been 3-0 actually, because just after we conceded the second goal, we should have had a third goal when it clipped the outside of the post.
And what about Mickey's last tackle on the edge of the box?
2 of them. Two of them. Because Pedro Porro was too busy shouting at other individuals and forgot he's actually on the pitch to defend. Yeah, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, right?
Yeah. So it was just poor again, wasn't it? And the home record, you know, it's a vicious circle. The fans are really cheesed off. The players are probably scared to make a mistake now. It's not good. It's really not good. And, you know, win or lose tomorrow, once him gone. If he goes, who comes in?
Well, we're going to come to that. We're going to come to that.
Yeah.
Let's not jump the gun.
No,
Johnny, let me bring you in strictly for a bit more of a more detailed answer on the game itself. Like we'll come to the specifics of the booing. It's a whole sort of conversation because there's a lot of reaction from Pedro Porro and Thomas Frank afterwards and stuff, and that's a section. But the game itself, if we don't go 2-0 down, right? Vicario obviously, you know, Bozo gene galore. I mean, like, you know how I feel about it. I don't know how you can have a goalkeeper. It's the position in the football team where mistakes are most heavily impact you. And, you know, he just, whenever there's a time for him to engage his brain, he engages a Bozo gene. Like when he doesn't think he's brilliant, he makes the difficult things look easy and the easy things look hard. If that doesn't happen, does Tottenham get back into the game? Apart from those Mickey van der Ven magical moments, after that second one of those where he put the slide tackle in, Tottenham really sort of controlled the game after that, but the damage was done, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we would have lost the game personally, but it was manna for heaven for Fulham. 2 goals. We don't need to do anything. We need to manage the game. They had the pace to counterattack us should we commit players forward. But the first half was so shambolic, we didn't do anything. That first half was just no different to some of the first half and second halves we've seen in some of the games. The standing around, we leave together bollocks before they left the pitch. United we stand, United we fall. But to me, they seemed divided and fell. Came out the second half with renewed vigour. Couldn't have been worse. They came out and meant business. And let's be honest, Kolo Muani was unlucky with a couple of chances he had. But, you know, I thought Leno was very, very good in goal. Unlike our goalkeeper, when the ball came across, he dealt with everything. 17 crosses in that first half, and they were shambolic. Shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. Most of them never even cleared the first man. And, you know, when
they landed on the head of one of the best aerial defensive, like
Shirley
Bassey's not a
Bassey,
fantastic keeper, but he's a monster in the air, isn't he?
Yeah, they had Shirley Bassey, right? He was clearing everything. Anderson was wily and knew exactly what to do. And Leno was commanding his box, something that he didn't do. But the quality of the crosses were poor. And let's be honest, it looked like we weren't going to be able to break them down for long periods. It was a great goal from Kudus. And you thought, you know what? I thought we were going to do it. But got to say, Thomas Frank killed it when he made those substitutions. I know we had tired legs, but there was some momentum and some drive with those players. And as soon as we took them off and brought on Xavi and the rest, and let me tell you, Xavi, Thomas Frank's talking to her, or the coaches are talking to him, and all he's doing is sucking on a Fruit Loop, looking like he couldn't give a fuck what they were saying. He's come on, and they didn't really do much, did they, Sean? The momentum seemed to go, and Fulham sort of got a bit of a hold on to the game. And I thought, you know what, they're just going to manage this game out, which they did very well.
Do you know what the interesting thing is, Johnny? Just quickly, you'd think that a team that goes 2-0 up away at Tottenham that haven't won a game away from home all season would actually sit back in defensive mode and protect a lot earlier than they did. They actually were going for it. Like even when we were 2-0 down
in the first half,
they were still in the first half. They were still very much on the front foot. There was no like pause in their appetite for more. They smelt blood, as a lot of teams do when they come to our ground.
Yeah, because there's no fear. There's no fear. Look, I'll say it again. 27 Premier League defeats since the beginning of August last year, right?
Yeah.
27 home defeats. That's just the league. It is a malaise. There's something that's taken hold of this club. It's bigger than Thomas Frank. It's bigger than Ange Postecoglou. It's top, bottom, middle. There's something fundamentally wrong where the fans, we've spoken about this privately and whatever, since that time. I'm sure we'll come on to that a bit later. But I just think that Fulham knew exactly. They did not fear Spurs. We had 17 crosses and they never feared anything. They just kept coming and coming and coming. And at halftime, I think Marco Silva said, look, guys, I don't fear them. I believe we can hold them with Bassi and Anderson and Tete. They looked strong. They didn't look like they were going to give up anything. And let's just sit back and we can counter and maybe score another goal.
Yeah, 100%. Stel, let me ask you about the game specifically. Oh, he's disappeared. You still there, Stel, or are you? I'll come to Perchy instead. Oh,
sorry, mate. Sorry.
How do I say it? Start this. First of all, do you think that Fulham were worthy of the 3 points over the whole 90 minutes? Second of all, where do you think the game itself went wrong? Was it just the fact that we had a moment of madness from Vicario and again not setting up correctly in the opening minutes with like just nobody protecting the D? How many shots have we conceded outside of the box this season? It must be a record for any team. And how many goals have we conceded from the same sort of play? Was it that? And then after that, it was a fairly even, good game of football, but the scoreline was obviously just, the deficit hurt us from the start. Or was it, once again, tinkering with the system, tinkering with the players? And we've heard today, there's a Sun article that's come out. I forget the guy's name who wrote it, but he's saying that there's murmurs of discontent because the players don't know if they're coming or going. They don't know what it is that their player roles are supposed to be asking of them because they're not getting any time on the training ground. And that makes sense if it's true. It might just be an opportunistic journalistic article, but it does make sense, right? There's no time to practice these things. And yet we're playing more and more different styles every single week.
So is that for Perchy or me?
No, for you, Stel. Sorry, yeah, for you.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. I wouldn't pay too much attention to what a journalist said, but I was going to say that, right? I was going to say that. I don't listen to the journalists. Look, we did the predictions on. Oh, by the way, good evening, all the chat. Smash a like, subscribe, notification bell. You know the drill. We did a show on Thursday. We had Ricky Sachs on as a guest, and the general feeling on the show and in the chat, and on most YouTube channels in the Spurs community was, I can take a lot of positives from the PSG game. I can see green shoots. Frank's going to build on this. And everyone predicted would beat Fulham. There wasn't one person that said, on this show and on pretty much every show I watched that day and the day after that we were going to lose to Fulham. People were putting out videos, we're going to beat Fulham. I saw so many videos, confidence high. And I sat on our show and said, guys, I'm going to go with a 1-1. Yeah. That was Lugo after. Right? I said, guys, I don't see us winning it. And the reason I said that, and don't forget, I got pelters in the chat for it. Stel hates Tottenham, Stel supports failure, Stel is a gooner, all that usual crap. And I said, for me, we are in a place right now where the fan base is just in complete denial of what it's saying and in complete denial of the things they've said in the past. And I just feel no one's just being honest with what they're seeing, like properly honest, because their pride has got in the way of their support for the team. It's all pride driven now. And what I mean by that is we played Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. We did quite well in that game. The players looked good. And to be fair, we probably could have got something out of that game. That's not a group of shit players. And the next game after that was Chelsea. Everyone said, oh, look, positives. You can see positives. We played Chelsea. We got absolutely pummeled. Awful game. Worst performance I've ever seen us against Chelsea. XG in the mud. And then we played PSG, and it was just like the Newcastle game. Good performance. No one expected it. We did all right. I still said, guys, I don't rate the performance as a whole, but I expected us to lose 5-6-0. So 5-3 is a big upgrade. I think if Xavi Simons never got elbowed in the face and a red card, we were through on goal. Maybe we score a fourth goal. But everyone jumped on that bandwagon again of, oh, look at this. Frank sussed it. He's found the winning formation. He now knows to attack. Look at Archie Gray. Look at Bergvall. Look at all this. And I said, guys, this is the same mistake we made earlier in the season. Like, we're just not learning. And I think what it comes down to is we're so desperate for Frank to show us consistent good performances. We're so desperate for our team to actually be good. And we're so desperate for this club to progress that once you're fed a few crumbs, so the Newcastle game was some crumbs, PSG's crumbs, fans are grabbing those crumbs and going, Gordon Ramsay steak. No, they're crumbs, guys. And we inflate it to something far bigger than what it is, just like we did with Frank at the start of the season, put him on this pedestal that he never deserved to be put on. And then we go and play Fulham, reality hits, and the answer is blame the players. It's the players. The same players everyone praised did well against Newcastle. The same players everyone praised against PSG. The same players that nobody questioned or moaned about or complained when we beat West Ham, Everton, Man City. It beggars belief that we're now in a place where we as a fan base, when we choose the players, they're not too bad, are they? And when we don't choose, they're absolute garbage. Blame the squad, default reaction, default excuse. I just can't believe this is where we are as a fan base. I'm just shocked, son, because all the years I've supported Tottenham, all the years I've supported this club, I've never seen our fan base like this, where they will say everything and anything to deflect away from the manager because they went all in with this guy for no reason. No one had to do that. At the start of the season, I said, guys, I'm not doing this whole, I'm behind the manager 100%. This guy's the one. I'm not doing it. I've done that too many times. I'm going to see how this goes. I'm going to see how this plays out. I said that at the start of the season. And the reason I said that is Frank's never won anything. Frank's never done anything spectacular in his career. He's always been a bit of a mid-table manager. Fine, he's been at small clubs though, so he gets, let's give him some respect because he's at a smaller club. 13 years, I can't really say he's pulled up any trees. He needs to prove himself. He's never played in Europe. He's never had to manage 2 games a week on a regular basis. He's never been at a big club. Let's see you here because this is different. Tottenham's different. We've seen many managers come here. It's different. Prove yourself. But in the eyes of so many fans, because it wasn't Ange, he's already proved himself. He is worse than Ange, if not on a par with Ange, from what I've seen. There is no difference from this manager. And I've got every stat to back up what I'm saying. And the eyes don't lie. He is the problem right now. He's not the only problem. There are players that need to leave this club. We all agree on this. There are players that shouldn't be here. and we desperately need certain positions filled by much better players. That's so that we can be top 4. That's so that we can challenge for major honours. But to be a top 6, 7 club, we don't need better players. We don't. We can be that club. But this lack of balance, this every week something changes. Every week, and I spoke about this a few weeks ago, and it's now everyone's talking about it. You can't keep changing formation, tactics, players, and think that we're going to get results. The players are confused. They're not building partnerships on the pitch. The defence is a mess. The midfield is stale. Up front is non-existent. And against Fulham, I saw everything that I've seen all season. There is no excuse for any manager. I don't care who's in charge of this club. Even if Ryan Mason was manager, you cannot lose to a club that is struggling to score goals, hasn't won a single game on the road this year. And we didn't just lose, guys. We should have been 4-0 down. 4-0 down we should have been to this team. There's no excuse to go to the team.
Did we not lose to Ipswich and Leicester last season where we rested all our best players so they'd be fit for the main game?
And that's why I said he's no better than Ange.
No, I'm
But
saying
Ange is
this
bad.
is.
I'm not saying
I think it's going back. I'm not disagreeing with you, Sean, Stel, with the performance as we're seeing right now. What I'm saying, though, is this crap is 27 league games we've lost since last season. At home.
Okay,
And
if that's the case, mate,
it's a
if that's
self-fulfilling prophecy. Do you not think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy? They go out there and they actually believe that they're going to fucking lose.
No, and I'll tell you why.
So how?
Let me just re-jog your memory and Perchies and Lubos because they've been big. Because you guys have all been quite big proponents of this rhetoric. What you
mean? Johnny, wait, Johnny, just wait. Stel, just wait 1 second, just quickly. Just in fairness, can you finish your point up? And then I'm going to come to Perchy to get his takes. He hasn't spoken yet, and then we'll come back and go to a round table of debate as much as you want. But if it becomes one-on-one, then
no, that's fine. Come back to me after Perchy because there's something I want to say about the rhetoric, which is why this is where we are as a club. But to summarise, Frank is the problem right now. He was allowed to bring his entire coaching team in. I don't remember many managers that were allowed to do that. He brought his whole team. This is his rodeo. Okay. He's actually had a decent summer window based on the players that were brought in. Bawani, Paulinho, Kudus, Simmons. They're not crap players that were brought in. There was no Werners, Danjumas, Rodens, none of that shit.
I agree.
He also, every single week, the same defensive errors, edge of the box, goals, dysfunctional defense. He's meant to be this pragmatic, excellent defensive coach, and so does coach's team. I don't see it. Sean, look, I could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
ENIC are a problem. The players, we need better. But from what I'm seeing from games against Wolves, Bodo Glimt, the performances, even when we've won or got a draw, he is a problem, and it's because he has overcooked it, and it's getting worse. It's not getting better; it's getting worse. That's my assessment.
It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. There's plenty of time to come back into that. We've got another 90 minutes to go. I just want to because we're talking about the game specifically before we get into the bigger problems. And of course, I'm going to come back to you guys.
He overcooked it. He made subs at the wrong time, and the players I don't think understand or are playing. I don't think all the players are on board, Sean. I don't think they're on board.
Yeah. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, by the way, but I know that there's a lot of opinions that are different, and maybe one of them is Perchy. Perchy, how you doing, mate? Welcome to the show again. Similar sort of question, mate. The game, just to finish off the game itself before we get into the kind of more existential crisis. It is Fulham. It is a home game. They haven't won anywhere all season on the road. Everybody comes to Tottenham and thinks it's a walk in the park, and we're proving to be that way. We've got a much better record away from home than we do at home. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Perchy, that the loss against Fulham was our 10th home loss in 2025, which is a record. It's a joint record for our worst ever amount of losses in one season. If we lose to Brentford next weekend, we will have never had more losses in a season. And that is coupled with only 4 wins at home in 2025 as well in the Premier League, which is also, I believe, our worst ever campaign from a home performance in terms of wins in the Premier League era. Something's wrong, mate. But to talk about the Fulham game specifically, did you think the system was right? Did you, was it just the mistakes that fucked us, right from the get-go? What was it for you, mate?
No, but I thought the game was absolute shambles, if I'm honest. I thought it was a mess from start to bottom. It doesn't help when you go 2-0 down in 6 minutes. I mean, like, it's an absolute catastrophe when your goalkeeper does something as ludicrous as he does. It happens. It's just madness. I know you're going to touch on the booing. I will talk about that a bit later. But look, I thought he got it wrong. Like, I think it kind of proves. I think a lot of people wanted Gray, Bergvall in midfield. Not for me. Like, that didn't work. I think our players at the moment have an issue playing at home. I think there's got to be a reason for that. And as a fan base, we've got to understand that we have a responsibility, whether we like it or not, as well, to try and motivate where we can. People may not be happy, but isn't that part of our role as a fan? Whatever people think on that, but look, it was an absolute disaster. I think one thing we don't get mentioned, Kudos is a stunning goal. I think I understand why it gets missed, but a very, very good finish. Yeah, I agree with what Johnny said. I think the subs really made a big problem, because I thought, you're right, Johnny was spot on. Momentum was on our side there, and you thought, let it play out for 5 or 10 minutes, and then maybe take a step back, make a change after that, and go, maybe only make one instead of 2 or 3, which he did. He made a big chunk of changes, and it kind of, the momentum completely fizzled out, and you looked and went, yeah, after that you kind of went, we ain't winning this. You could tell we aren't winning this. Look, I think you have to look at it. Fulham haven't been good on the road, so that's another real worry.
Yeah,
look, and I think, I know people think otherwise, but Frank's got to fix it, right? I think it's his job, right? His job is to fix it. Whether he's our manager or if he's not our manager, at the moment, he's got to find the solution. I think he kind of sums up. I think my biggest concern is he's probably listening to a lot of what fans are saying, which I think is really, really dangerous when a manager is tweaking and changing to what everyone is screaming about.
Especially our fan base, who change their mind every 3 minutes.
Well, this is the problem, right? He's not
good enough. He's not good enough.
Well, hang on, let me just finish my point. But
who's running the team, the manager or the fans?
Hang on, still.
Can I just finish my point? My point is like, look, I think you can tell he's under pressure. I think he's gonna have. I don't know where. I think we're at a position now where the club themselves have to really make a point here. Whether I think it's going to have to be stick or twist. And when I say that, I mean the club almost have to publicly come out and say it now. It doesn't really matter what us lot think, right? I say this all the time. We just have our voice and our opinions. I think the club have to go down the road of what Arsenal did and what Man United have done, of note, of almost sort of going, this is our guy. Whether we like it or not, I think the club, I have no issues before people change their mind in the chat. Seeing some people making that nonsense. It's not true. I've not said that. If Frank gets sacked, he will get himself sacked if he keeps losing games of football. That's how it works in football. The problem is my only issue is, and on the bigger, broader part of it all, where does the stability at the football club come from if you keep sacking managers? By the way, if Frank isn't the guy, I have no problem. Against popular opinion, I don't give a shit if Thomas Frank is sacked. My only problem is I haven't still waiting for anybody sort of go, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is where the stability comes from, because you can sack him. Who cares? That's the Tottenham way. Everyone tells me
this is unstable, Perchy. This is unstable.
Yeah, sure, but the Tottenham way is to sack the manager, right?
Sacking managers, because sacking managers constantly is not stability.
Where does it ever change?
We sacked them. We had the right managers and we sacked them. Now we want to keep the wrong managers.
Hang on.
Who was the right manager?
You wanted him sacked.
Conte, Poch. Should never have sacked those two.
But Conte didn't want to be here, right?
Poch wanted out.
Conte didn't
out by the end.
Conte delete. Conte didn't
want still, you know, deep down, Conte didn't want to be here.
Conte levels above Frank. He's levels above Frank. Conte destroys Frank. Not in the same league, bro.
No one's
Not in the
disputing
same
that.
league.
But
But he didn't want to be here
Yeah.
by the end, mate. He talked
Of
himself
course
out.
he didn't, because we hounded him out as a fan
No,
base.
he
Like,
didn't
get him
hound
out,
him.
turgid football. You went after Conte. You
I
attacked
didn't go after
Conte every
Conte.
week. Oh, yes, you did.
No, I
I
didn't.
watched the podcast. You went after Conte, Percy.
I didn't go after
Every
him. I
week,
just
you
said,
battered the man. And now you defend the guy who's losing every week. Crazy.
I'm not defending him. I've literally still read what I said. I said if he gets sacked, he will get himself sacked. I
What
don't
would you
care.
do? Would you stick with Frank Percy?
I think the only person that has given me a rational solution is Sean.
Would you stick with Frank Percy? Would you stick with him?
Right now, unfortunately, yes. At the moment, you're going to have
There
to.
you go.
Sean is, as I said,
you
Sean,
back Frank more than you did Conte. There you go.
What are you talking
Well,
about?
hang on. They're two, wait, hang on. Wait, hang on. Let me just explain this. Conte and Frank are two different managers in two different eras of this football club. Conte signed an 18-month contract. Want to know why? Because he didn't. It was a marriage of convenience for Tottenham,
Correct.
and it was for Conte.
Who gave him that contract? Who gave him that
It doesn't
contract?
matter, but there's a
It
reason
does.
why Conte.
It
There's a
does.
reason why Conte didn't want. He didn't. He might as well walked into every press conference with the same thing. Please sack me now, Daniel. He might as well walked in a cap like
Wouldn't
that.
you? If fans like you just cuss him every week,
I didn't
that's
cuss
how
him.
Worry about the
every
fans.
week.
Nothing to do with the fans.
Every week.
Had nothing to
Every
do
week.
with the fans.
Pounded him
It had
out.
nothing to do with the.
Nothing at all.
Still, you're an intelligent
Nothing
guy.
to
You're
do
not
with the fans.
stupid enough
I
to
want
think
to hear
that.
what. Hang
Oh
on, I
my
wanna
goodness
hear
me,
what Sean-
Lubo, you were literally on Last Word on Spurs saying when the
I'm
fans
not, I'll come to
turn,
that. I'll come to that in a minute.
No.
when the fans turn, we
One
know
at a
how it
time.
ends. And now you're saying the fans don't have a
Doing it
say.
again.
Can I just
Hang
go back to my overall point? Is that what I'm trying to say? My point here is, by the way, the Conte stuff has no relevance to now. Has no relevance.
Nothing.
No.
Is that was done, being and dusted. He doesn't fucking like us. We know that.
No, he
Look,
doesn't like fans like you.
What do you
But
mean?
what-
Ian? Why are you
Fans
making
what
like
about me?
you.
And I would love to have. I would love to know that.
All right, this is that's hopefully the last time that I've got to pull out whatever his name is. I think John McCruick. What was his name? I don't know.
No.
Okay, I haven't pulled him out for a while. The order guy, but I don't want to put anyone on mute. But guys, no one at home can hear a word
Correct.
if four people are talking at the same time.
Just wanted to
So-
finish my point.
Can we all just
Sure.
finish their point? Let's finish the point. Hang on, Johnny, what Percy
right.
was just trying to come to the end of his point. Finish your point, Percy, and then we can move on.
Yeah. So look, I'll finalise it. I'll leave it quickly for this on this part. Look, for me, I have no issues if sacking Thomas Frank. Whatever happens, Frank will get himself the sack. If it has no bearing on what I think, what Johnny thinks, what Stell thinks, what Lubo or Sean thinks. None of us have any relevance in this. The football club will sack him if he keeps losing football matches. That's it. My point has always been, and I've been asking for people to give me what is the solution if you sack him, because my point is I have no problem, but name me managers that will galvanize these players and get them. You can pick the Xavi Hernandezes, then they can come in all you want, but we ain't got football players that can pass around the football like he would want them to. So look, I don't mind it. Against what popular demand, I don't give a shit. Thomas Frank is an employee. He will get the sack if he keeps losing. He won't be here in 6 months, 2 years, whatever. Who gives a shit? I don't care.
I
But
want to hear what Sean has to say now. Sean,
but I'll leave it at that. Look, I'll leave it at that point for now.
Sean, although you are the host, you're very much the voice here that I want to hear, and the people here want to hear as well. So please, let's hear what you've got to say. Thanks.
I appreciate it, Johnny. Listen, I think the problems are bigger than the manager. I think that there's always a pizza pie of blame. I tend to think that Thomas Frank isn't the right guy, but I also don't think there's anybody out there right now that you can replace. And I think it was Connor a couple of weeks ago that made a really salient point, and he said, "You only change your manager mid-season if you know if it's absolutely tits up, or if you know that you can replace him with someone better." And I don't think the situation is that precarious that you know you can get someone out. There might be situations where with what happened today with Steve Parish and Glasner, that might materialize into something different. But generally speaking, I'm not sure if there's that many solutions. However, what I would say, and I don't want to get off the manager point too much, but my general thought is that there is a bit of a dark cloud that's like hanging over Spurs right now. I think impatience, frustration, expectation versus reality is missing around the quality, the perceived quality in the team and the perceived value in the ticket. And I think it all stems from 6 years of regression that started with an artificial high around the Champions League final. I think that we punched above our weights and then everybody got caught up in that moment thinking that this is the new level, right? This is the right level. And I think it's the same as buying a stock market at the very top of a pump and then the rug gets pulled on it and then you resent the stock or you resent the cryptocurrency because you bought it at the top. You bought into a false reality of the value. I'm not saying that that's the fans' fault. I think it's natural human nature. But I think ever since then, we have regressed back towards the mean. I think we've gone further past it. I think we're worse now than we really should be. But I think the expectations around the fan base have followed every new manager that comes through this door for the last 6 years, including Conte, including Mourinho, including Nuno, and more heavily in more recent years because of their failure as well, Ange Postecoglou and Thomas Frank. I think they all feel very victimized because they think that they are not responsible for the frustrations of the fan base. It didn't start with them. And I think they have a point on that regard. But sacking the manager and bringing in someone else, they're just going to be the next victim of the same frustrations. I think that the fans are not to blame for how they feel, but they ultimately need to change, to factory reset their expectations a little bit in order to get to a point where we can get through the early stages of a project, early stages of a rebuild. Because if you bring in the next guy and he doesn't hit the ground running and win 10 out of 10, exactly the same things will happen with the next guy. I also think the squad needs to be improved. I really do. I think the squad needs 3 or 4 much better players, like top draw players. We've got a lot of good players. We've got no great players, no world-class players. We need a few of them sprinkled in. But again, when I look at the home form, the losses, the record few wins, and I see that we're better away from home, that's a rarity in football, and it's a reason for that. There's a reason why we are struggling so much at home, and I think that the environment that the football club operates in is poisonous at the moment. It really is. There's a dark cloud hanging over it. I don't know what the solution is, Johnny, but I don't think that necessarily changing the manager by itself is going to fix anything. I think that a lot of things need to change, but at the same time, I don't think that Thomas Frank is the right guy for the football club. Personally, I think he's too meek. I think he's too nice, and I think he's too. I hear what Stell said, and I can't disagree with anything that Stell has said, apart from the point about the previous managers that were hounded out. I don't think Conte was hounded out. I think he never wanted to be here.
Sure. If Frank, if you just said, okay, you don't think Frank's the right guy. So what are we doing wasting our time? Why are we about to give this man a lot of money to go in the transfer window in January?
What are you doing? So this is a scenario.
Can I finish what I was saying?
I was just going to say to you, right?
I haven't finished what I was saying, right? Right. If he's not the right guy, I don't want this club to go and spend millions on him again in January and then load up the next manager with players that he might not want. Because we've all complained about this. Managers inheriting a bit of Jose's team, a bit of Conte's, a bit of Ange's. I don't want the next guy to then have to get a bit of this guy's as well. So I think we've got to be careful because we're not a club that can afford to keep throwing money at things.
What's your solution?
Can I just, Johnny? So I know you're gonna. I think Stell makes a very good point here. No, I didn't think I'd be agreeing with a lot of what Stell's going to say, but I do agree with him. But what I would say, I think this is the point where I said this is the point that I sort of roll back to what I said before. The club have to make a valid commitment. If Frank is their guy, whether we like it or not, they've either got to go in balls deep and go, he's our guy, we'll back him, or we'll sack him, and then the next guy we have to go balls deep in and go, because we can't. The problem is, and I get Stell's point, but at what point do we get to where if we just go, the next guy comes in, we give him 100 million, 200 million pound, and then in 3-4 months' time, he's not good enough. We sack him.
Same problem.
I think we get to the same problem, right? So I think we've got to get to a position. As I said, it doesn't have to be Thomas Frank, but whoever the guy is, you've kind of got to almost go all in on black and go all in.
Problem is, mate, just super quick, and I need to get Johnny and Lou both very patient as well. At the moment, I don't think that you can attract anybody. Like, who the fuck wants to come to Tottenham right now? And they go, oh, what, a player in January? You want to go to Tottenham where they boo players for mistakes? a manager that's going to sit there and go, oh, well, I'll be the 7th in a long line of failures, all because the expectations around the fan base and the football club are completely out of kilter with reality. Like, to me, I'm sitting there thinking, you sacked Thomas Frank, you better have had a conversation and know who's going to come before you pull the trigger, because I think you might end up with a situation where you sack him on a knee-jerk reaction if we get smashed tomorrow night. And then you wake up in January the 15th and you still can't find a new manager, or you end up paying someone 15 million quid.
Or Matt Wells ends up having to take over for the rest of the season, right?
Exactly.
Look, it's like, I feel like I'm reliving the same thing. Eat, sleep, repeat. Eat, sleep, repeat. Okay. Still, I hear your argument. I hear it. It's valid. What is your answer? You sack him tomorrow. I'm saying, I hear you. I hear you. I get it. You sack him after. Right. We lose. Right. Here's the scenario. We lose to Newcastle. Very likely. We lose to Brentford. Possible. Right. He loses those 2 games. The ball turned around and said, nothing to do with us. This was Daniel Levy's signing. They've got a free hit. Who do you think is going to come of quality? Most of the managers who are managing countries are not leaving before the World Cup. Most of the top managers are in position. So who is it that you are going to bring in that you think that can turn this ship around? And it's like turning around an oil tanker in the Suez Canal right now, because like we said before, Stel, and we've talked about this before Frank and during Ange, and maybe even before Ange. It's the toxicity from top to bottom. The way Daniel treated the fans, how he treated managers, how he sacked managers, his mindset of buying players, everything that's there is conducive. I think these players are mollycoddled within an inch of their life. They wake up in the morning, they go down to a training ground. Can I take your bag, sir? Can I massage your feet, sir? They're staying in 6.
Does that not happen at
I think that most clubs, though, no?
Not to the level that's Tottenham Hotspur. If you've ever been down there, Sean, which I have, and Stel's been there as well, it's like it's a joke there, right? It's like nothing that's any other club. Maybe
it's a hotel. It's a luxury hotel.
Honestly, it's a 5-star hotel, and they have the fucking audacity to go out there and get pissed off with us when we've seen. Forget Lubo and I. How many away games we've been to in the since last August 2024? We've seen 27 home defeats.
Frank's done that.
I've got to bring in Lubo. So I know everyone's.
I'm just going to finish my point.
After you, Johnny. After you finish.
So my point here is that they are not. They're not reacting to the fans, right? They think the fans are a joke. They're not respecting managers, whether it be Ange, whether it be Frank, whether it be we've here. He's lost the dressing room. He's lost the dressing room. He's lost the dressing room. This isn't a new phenomenon. Player power. And we're sitting here and we're going to potentially get rid of another manager. My point is, Stel, what magic switch can someone come in and flip? Because it's not just one thing.
Yeah, Stel, before I know you.
Lubo, go. Yeah,
Lubo, I need to bring you in, mate. I want to ask you the same question I asked Lubo. Obviously, take it where you want, mate. But I do want to make the point because I genuinely fear that whatever happens right now, not just in the managerial market, but in the player market as well. People say, "I'll just go out and get Semenyo, throw as much money as you can at him, give him all the gold he can eat, beat Liverpool, beat Arsenal." Never going to happen in a million years. Correct. I genuinely think if Tottenham were competing with Crystal Palace for certain players right now, or competing with Aston Villa for certain players, or competing with Everton for certain players, I think they look at the environment in which they are walking into, and all other things being equal, I don't think they choose Tottenham a lot of the time because, as I said, like managers want to come here. You have to pay me a hell of a lot of money to tolerate this. And you know what? The only reason I'll say yes is because in all likelihood, you give me a 3-year contract and I'll be out of a job in 4 months. Right. And as far as players go, they don't have that luxury. So they're going to sit there and think, am I going to choose Tottenham and get booed if I make a mistake? There's not that many other Premier League clubs. There's not that many clubs in Europe that have the audacity to boo their own players. Only maybe teams like Real Madrid, who have a history of absolute excellence and perfection, and anything other than that level is unacceptable. But Tottenham fans, I mean, booing their own players, is it understandable? But go where you want with it, man. But I just think that January and decision making around bringing players in is a lot more difficult in this environment.
Okay, let's start with Frank. Let's start with the squad that he's got, that he's inherited. If you go back through the last God knows how many years, back, let's sort of keep it. Let's try and keep it from Poch onwards. Every manager who comes in, coach, picks up a mishmash of players from different coaches who have different styles, who want different players, different types of players. So you've got different, as I said, different players suiting different styles. So you then say, fine, okay, most of these are not going to suit the way I want to play. So I've got to go and rebuild again. It's a constant rebuild. Every time we sack somebody, within a year, 18 months, 24 months, whatever it is, we go out and we have to start rebuilding, buying players. My point, and I made this last season as well, is that I look at the way Ajax have got their templates, and they have an identity and they play a certain way. So if you're buying players, you go out and you buy players to play in a certain way, so that if you do happen to change manager, if a manager goes horribly wrong and he lasts half a season, you bring someone else in, but you have a successor lined up. The way Brighton had everybody lined up. If a player goes, they've always got someone coming, that they've seen, that they've checked on. They're the one they want to buy. The same with managers. So if you establish that template, you establish an identity, a style of football, you can then work and bring in the quality of players that you need. We don't have the quality of players. Now that is for several reasons. My feelings in terms of the owners for me have never stretched themselves. Hopefully now we've got owners that will come in, that will put the money down for the right players. And it doesn't have to be 100 million for Elliot Anderson. If you go and you find a diamond for 10, 15, 20 million, that's fine as well.
Tottenham fans aren't going to be happy with that shit now, though, Lubo, are they, mate? Tottenham fans are not going to tolerate if we go and sign a player from Girona or something for 20 million.
I'm sure fans would turn around and say, do you know what? Dele Alli was a great buy for 5 million, and Modric wasn't bad for 15.
We've done that, mate. We've done that with Bergwijn, with Archie Gray, with all these players, and like sorry, Lubo. Sorry, finish your point. Sorry.
So you've got to actually start an identity. The way we're doing it at the moment, Frank's got his ideas of players. Someone else comes in, they've got a different idea of players. How do you actually ever have anything cohesive at the club that you can build? And you look at the clubs that are successful, that win trophies on a constant level, consistent level, not like us, once every 17 years.
What is Frank's identity, Lubo? Sorry, what is this? What is Frank's identity? What's Frank's identity? What is Frank? No, what's Frank's identity?
That I don't know at the moment. I don't know.
How do we sign players?
Okay, Stel, come on, mate. Tell us, who are you signing? Right, you've got all the
talk. Finish. I just wanted to.
No, but you got the talk. What is the answer? Who's your manager?
Let Lubo land his point just quickly, then Stel come back in. Sorry, Lubo, your heart gone. Sorry.
For me, in hindsight, and listen, we're all clever in hindsight. I was excited when Frank came in. Half of that excitement was because I had been home and away for the best part of 2 years and watched the biggest pile of shit going, wide open, players playing in a system that I'd never seen before, a manager so intransigent that after seeing it work for 10 games, thought it could work forever. And when other managers sussed him out, he didn't change. So I was excited. Frank had done a good job at his level. Can he step up? Let's see. Let's see if he can step up. But you know what? If we keep pushing managers out and we continually change managers, we will never get anywhere. And that's the problem. Pep's been there 10 years. Klopp was there 8 years. Arteta's been there 6 years last year. You know.
Yeah, but Lubbo,
Well,
most of the time that managers, with the exception of Arteta, to be fair to him, he hasn't won anything since his first year, but he's had constant progress and a lot of backing.
Yeah.
But the only reason that you can point to the successful managers as having longevity is because they've had success that justifies the longevity. You could look at David Moyes at Everton when he started, right? Everton used to be a top 4 team back in the day. David Moyes comes in, has 7-8 years of tenure there, doesn't win a thing. Right, look at Amorim at United. Have they given too much time and money towards him to do nothing? Right, he's sort of like on a hamster wheel, going back 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win. Like to point to the idea that the successful managers have longer periods of time, it's almost like cyclical thinking, because the reason why they have a long time is because they win, and the teams that don't have a long time don't win, therefore they're moved on.
Didn't Arteta take backwards? No.
Hang on, the problem you've got.
Can I tell you about Arteta, guys? Can I tell you about Arteta? I'll tell you about Arteta.
If you keep changing the managers, you keep having 4 or 5 from this manager, 3 or 4 from him, 8 or 10 from him. You've got different players in suiting different styles. You've got Udogie and Porro that were bought for wing backs.
You never say this when we win.
No, hang on.
Frank's got any of this when we win. When Frank wins, you never say any of this.
No,
this is my right.
You never know, Stel. You're never around when we win.
I'm on this show every single week. I'm on this show every single week. Listen.
No, it's a
who
question.
Who invited Sava on the show? Sava's here. Hey.
Oh, the cheap one.
Sava's returned. Hey.
Fire! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Listen, Stel, right, you've got loads of chat. Hang on a second, Lubo, 1 second. Stel,
sorry.
Listen, all I want to hear, right, is I hear your point. It's valid. I'm not dismissing the validity of your point. My question to you is, all of this, the stars are aligned. You've got all the answers. Give me the solution to the situation as it stands now. He's lost the 2 games. You're in charge. You've sacked him. What are you doing about it?
I never said sack him.
Hang on.
I know you're confused. I'll explain everything. The whole chat, everyone's making assumptions. I know what I would do. Sorry, guys. Guys, in our group, has it come across? I've never once said Frank out. Show me where I said Frank out. Show me where I said Frank out.
What are you saying?
But isn't that a little bit? You've kind of got to commit to what you want, though, because the problem is.
Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes, and I'll answer all of this.
Splinters.
Give me 5 minutes.
Got so many splinters up your arse, mate. You're sat on the fence.
No. It's 1, 2, 3 versus Stel like every week, but you're all in the mud with everything you've said. Everything you guys have said.
I agree with most of what you're saying, Stel. I'm not on that.
Yeah, you are. This lot are in the mud, so they're desperate. How can we make Stel look silly? How can we get to him? If you let me go, you'll all want to leave the show. I'll rip you all if I want, but I don't want to do that. I want to have an honest conversation with you guys. Let me tell you what I would do, right? I'll tell you what I would do. At the start, just give me 4 minutes. That's all, and I won't speak for the rest of the show. I won't need to. At the start of this season, we nearly beat PSG in the Super Cup final. We then go and beat Burnley 3-0, and then we go and beat Man City. And all you lot said, and others, the channels you go on, all you lot said was, you see what happens when we've got a proper coach? You see what happens when we're structured? Look how well organised we are. Defensive solidity. Look at Richarlison. That's what happens when a proper coach coaches him. And you lot waxed lyrical.
I did about Richarlison.
I said 4 minutes. Let me have it.
Don't pin me in with Richarlison stuff.
Let me have the 4 minutes. Let me have the 4 minutes. That's all I want. You all wax lyrical. Blew smoke up Frank's backside. He's the best. Johnny called him a professor. I've been watching him for 5 years. Top coach. Lubo's telling us we're defensively strong. We're hard to beat. Resilient. Perchy says whatever Sava says. And this went on for 2-3 months. 2-3 weeks. And then we started losing home games. And I said, guys, what's going on here?
Where were you? You only turned up when they started losing, Mr.
Can I finish?
Yes, mine.
Hindsight.
Let him have his 2 minutes. Let him have his 2 more minutes. 3 more minutes. Go on, Stel, finish up.
Question. I'm here every single week. You're on holiday every 2 weeks, mate. I'm here when you were abroad. You're in Marbella. You're in Tenerife. You're in the Greek Islands.
Home and away. Well, you're
Don't
sat
talk
in your
to me
box.
about turning up. I
Mate,
put a shift in.
I go home and away, mate.
For me.
Home and away, mate.
Yeah, holiday next week, aren't you? Off again.
Yeah,
Right?
fuck you, mate.
So, yeah. See, I've got 2 now. True words. When at the start of the season, everyone waxed lyrical. Then the wheels slowly came off, and I said, guys, what's going on here? And they shifted the narrative because we were terrible up front. And instead of top coach, top developer, all this, it then became he's got to make it strong at the back first. His foundations are built on a solid defence. Once he gets that right, you'll see a great attack. Now the arse has fallen out of the defence. It's gone through the floor. Shit, we can't say he's a top coach. We can't say he's doing the foundations of the defence. What do we do now? The players are crap. The players are shit. The narrative moves again.
You said the players were shit.
No one said the players were shit.
Every week.
Rubo said the players were shit.
Every week.
Nobody has said the players are shit.
And then, Lubo.
Lubo, come on now, Lubo. You flip flopped on those things. You're Captain Javiano on the players, mate.
You sat here, Lubo, right? Ricky Sachs was a guest on our show, and you sat here saying, we're going to beat Fulham 3-0. The other guy said 3-0. 3-1. People all over YouTube, we're going to beat Fulham. You lot believe our players were better than Fulham. Do you know why? Because they are. We all know they're better. And then when they lose, we can't blame Frank. We can't blame Levy because he's gone. It's the players. It's Burple. It's Porro. Guys, it's insanity what you got. What are you doing, man? The narrative keeps changing.
I'm not insane. For me,
this is what I would do.
Narrative.
This is what I would do. I said all along, let me wait and see what happens. After 20 odd games, I don't believe Frank is the guy for this project. I don't. I've seen enough to say.
But you're Frank out.
No, let me finish. I'm not Frank out because what I think needs to happen now, because to answer your question, Johnny, after everything that's happened, your 65,000 excuses and narratives you lot have created, for me, I don't think he can handle what we want as fans, which is a team that plays attacking football, a team that is balanced on the pitch, and a team that we think can get us back to what Poch got us to. I think what needs to happen is the board need to say to him, you've got December to put credit in the bank. Put credit in the bank in December and you get this project. He has got to prove himself and earn the right for this project. And when people say, but look at Arteta, let me tell you about Arteta. From the day he started at Arsenal to the day that season ended, because he joined halfway, if the season started when Arteta took over, they would have finished 6th. And he won the FA Cup. He put credit in the bank. Klopp got to 2 finals in his first season. He put credit in the bank. So what I'm saying the solution is, Frank, put some credit in the bank. You've got, how many games we've got in December, guys? Is it 7, 8, something like that? I don't know.
December, 6 games. We've got 6 games.
You've got to win a fair proportion of those, or at least be bloody competitive to the point where we say, we can watch this. If he does that, he's the man for the project. If he isn't, I don't want this club to spend money on a manager who's got no credit in the bank, has never put anything in the bank in his career, and put an interim in charge to the end of the season, and then proper start a project with a manager that's got pedigree and who's going to play football in a style that Spurs fans say we can swallow that. Because how it is now, guys, unfortunately for Frank, and this is where I don't blame him, we've been through so much as a fan base. We are not going to tolerate another season like the last 3. We simply aren't. We've been through too much to swallow that. If Frank had come 3 years ago, maybe the fans would have given him those 2 years. I don't think he's going to get the season that Ange was given last year. Not in a million years. Fans won't accept it. And that's why that stadium now is toxic. That's why it's gone to shit there, because fans aren't going to accept it. That's what I think. That's what I would do. As for an interim, maybe Brendan Rodgers. Maybe.
Listen, but like the thing is, thing is, still, then you're doing the same thing again. You're going to bring in another manager with a different style to change it all around, even in the interim. What I'm saying is, if look, I'm not going to sit here. I said
Frank's
today,
got to put credit in the bank, Johnny. He's got to put some credit in the bank. This is a disaster.
I put a post out today, right? You can't defend Frank. You can't defend the players. I'm not going to defend Frank. I'm not going to defend the players. I'm not going to defend the medical team. I'm not going to defend the recruitment. I'm not going to defend Enoch. It can't go on like this. Or can it? The problem is we keep saying this, but it carries on.
Johnny, you said something last week, right? You said on Thursday, you said something, and I thought, you know what? That's a good thing Johnny said. Like, I never thought of it that way. You said Enoch have got one pass, which is, and I agree with you, by the way. When you said it, it hit home. Levy was still here when Frank was appointed.
Correct.
And there was an influence in the decision of Frank being the manager, and in some of those transfers to Levy was still here. Now, for me, if Frank just turns it around or gets the ship going in the right direction in December, then you can say, do you know what? Fuck me. He really wrote that. He's got something about him, this guy. But if it continues like this, we can't take the risk. In my view,
just super quick, right? I don't disagree with you, Johnny, either about that. They've got one free pass, right? One free pass. However, they also have one window, right? I spoke to Billy T and the Change for Tottenham guys. They're saying they were going to give him one window, so give Enoch, one window to see what they do. To me, the conundrum is as follows. If they decide that Thomas Frank isn't the guy to back because they think that he will be out the door, and or any of the other reasons why we have a shit window comes up, i.e. the things I've already mentioned, what top draw player really wants to come to Tottenham with the fear of getting booed every week by fans that have got legacy issues with the football club and the ownership. If the January window is a shit show for any reason, whether it's by choice not to back Frank, whether it's by, there's no one available because it's too difficult, then that free pass expires. Like the fans won't see January as much as there's a logical thing here to go, the season's probably a write-off. Like we're not going to win the Champions League. Maybe we go on a cup run in the FA Cup. The league at the moment is precarious, but you know what? It's close enough to be able to just maybe scrape with a bit of form, maybe just scrape a Europa League sort of finish, something like that. Do you want to go and spend 150 million quid, even if it's possible, in January on players for Thomas Frank, if you're not entirely confident that he's going to be here next summer? As Lubo said earlier on, you end up with more square pegs in more round holes. But Enoch have to do something in January because their free pass expires on February the 1st.
But Sean, isn't the problem is, do you know, it's an absolute brilliant point, but this is where we're in catch-22, right? Because this is the rock and the hard place kind of scenario, right? You don't bank Frank because you don't think he's the right guy, but you keep him here because there's no other options. So, and the results don't get any better because we need some bit of quality in the window, or you go all in and or you sack him, and then the next guy that comes in immediately, you go, okay, we're going to go all in on you guy in January. This is a really, really precarious transfer window, whatever anyone thinks, because you're right. Like, look. If we commit with Frank and you dump a couple £100 million on him in January or whatever it is, and then it doesn't work out, you're in the situation that Stell was saying, which I don't disagree with. If you sack a manager and then you've dumped a load of money on him, we did that with Ange Postecoglou, and that went all wrong. So we're kind of in that really, really precarious situation, right? As I said, I think it goes back to what I said. You've got the club have to commit whatever we against whatever we think. They've got to commit something. As I said, I don't care if Frank isn't the guy and we see in the next few games he isn't the guy, then you've got to go and commit to. I think, Sean, I'll give you some flowers as well. I think you came up with probably the best example for me that I went, okay, I can get on board with that if Frank isn't the guy. Is keep him here to the end of the season, but in January you go and get in a couple of loans with options to buy, and if they're half decent, you can keep a hold of them moving forward if they are for the next guy. Because I don't think you're going to go and get a top, relatively decent coach at the moment, and I think you've almost got to kind of commit to See how Frank gets on by the end of the season. Does he turn it around? And if he turns it around, we're all laughing because we're going, do you know what? The manager's turned it around. If it fails, it fails. But I don't think if you sack him, I don't think in the middle of it, I think the season's written off anyway, right? I think if you sack him,
yeah, I think, you know, to come back from that, look, I will say it again, right? I don't want to be repeating myself, but I think if you go as a fan, you go into that stadium and you see 27 home defeats in like
it's not, Johnny, it's 27 defeats overall. It's 27 defeats. Not
27 home defeats.
No, defeats. 22 last year, 5 this year.
27 27 defeats. Yeah, sorry. 27 defeats. And sorry, yeah, I've got so many defeats. Yeah, but it's actually it's 27 defeats in a season. And when you're going to see those games and you're coming out there, and most of those, so many of those defeats are at home, and you're coming into that stadium, I just think that their mindset, the fans' mindset, is at a negative point. I don't think any club that comes to our club to play are fearful. The away fans have got a great pitch. They all love it. They're having a great day out. They can be heard. They can be seen. You go to some away games like when Lubo and I go, and you're stuck up in the bloody gods. You'd be lucky if they can even see you. And I just think it's a malaise. I think the players are too busy doing their Instagram pictures and their fucking tweets. And look at me and look at this. And I mean, honestly, right? First and foremost, you're a footballer. First and foremost, go on that pitch and show some bollocks. I swear to you, if we'd have lost that game to Fulham, and we could have seen 100% effort, winning every first and second ball, like Sunderland did against Arsenal, like Chelsea did when they went down to 10 men. But have we seen that? No. These are a lot of players.
Wait, guys.
We did see it. We did see it, but then Frank made 3 subs and killed it.
I've got to run some super chats. Johnny, finish your sentence. I've got to run some super chats and then we'll get back into it.
I'm just saying we haven't seen it over the course, Del, of the last 18 months or more. A lot of the players that are here are the same players that are doing this week in and week out, and we've had it. We've seen players stormed out. We've seen Romero storm down the tunnel. We've seen Ange Postecoglou call out the fans. We've seen Ange Postecoglou do this. We've seen Mickey van der Ven and Spence storm off down the tunnel, right? We've seen Porro the other day. It's not right. It's not right.
Horrendous.
And they're all to blame.
I think we should touch it after.
Perchy, wait. It's also horrendous that we haven't done the super chats yet, guys. I'll tell you what else is doubly horrendous. There's nearly 1,300 people here, which is insane numbers, and we appreciate you very much. The like button game is outrageously poor. There's 283 likes from 1,300 people. That number should be at like 700. Can we just all take a second? If you're watching this on a phone or on your laptop or TV, or maybe not TV, I understand it's a bit difficult, but can you guys all just smash the like button if you've enjoyed the debate? We're trying to make it respectful, but it is heated and passionate and fiery, and we love that stuff on the Spurs Five. All we're asking for is a drumming of the thumb, and also smash the sub if you haven't already. Like I say, if you want to join the conversation in the chat, just hit the sub button and it should open up immediately for you. There's no delay on the wait. Let's see if we can get to at least 600 likes, guys, in the next sort of 10 minutes. I know it's a big stretch, but we should be there already. Sniffer from Newcastle United fame. Big up to you, Sniffer. And I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're getting better with your recovery, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. A Newcastle fan throwing in a super chat with the colour white on the heart. We love that, mate. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. What a legend you are, my man. What a legend. Thank you, buddy. Pablo Davo. Big up to you, Paul. He says, years of underachieving, lack of management continuity, lack of buying enough quality players, and Spurs fans seeing this dross every week has sent people into an arena where everyone has had enough. 100%, mate. Couldn't agree more. I think everybody can kind of agree there's a pizza pie of blame with regards to the accountability. The solution, though, is incredibly unclear, because I think that we're going to talk about this in the next segment around the booing of players and the fact that Pedro Porro and Thomas Frank has called fans not real fans if they voice their opinions. We're going to talk about that, so I'll save that one. But it is it's spicy and contentious. But for me, I feel like it has to be the players that move the olive branch before the fans. You can't expect 60,000 people to all agree to support the team unconditionally when they've seen what they've seen. It's much easier to ask 11 players to block it out and rally, and then the fans will be won over very quickly, in my opinion. But big up to you, Paul. Trek88, big up to you, Trekkie. He says, we are Brentford White FC. Clown show. Our manager is a coward. Wow, harsh words, strong words, maybe fair words.
Right.
Fair words. I think everyone's free to feel how they feel right now. Sell agrees. Sell agrees. Big up to you, Trek. Thank you very much indeed. The super sticker train has well and truly commenced, guys. Chew to you. Houdini, always here, always supporting. And fun fact, guys, there's 1,200 people here now. If everybody put in the same thing as Dean Law has just done as a super sticker, we might have enough money to convince Conte to come back. Just saying. It's not a GoFundMe.
Hey, that's enough to get a new wig.
Bring it back. This club. I came back 2 times. This club. Big up to you, Dino. Thank you very much indeed. Giorgio. Big up to you, Georgie. He says, Arteta. I thought that was like some Latin. I thought you were bringing in some Latin for us. Arteta binned Aubameyang. Would we allow that at Spurs? Fascinating.
Good point.
Quick round
Great
off.
And
point.
Lacazette, and Pepe,
Yeah.
And Ozil.
and Ozil.
Ozil.
And Ozil.
He binned off a lot. To be fair.
But Arteta put credit in the bank. He earned that. He earned that privilege. He put credit in the bank.
Mate,
I don't think he did.
Stel, can I just
He
say,
won the FA Cup in 6 months of being there, and from the day he started,
He inherited somebody else's quarterfinal.
Those players he binned off
and
on the
whoever
FA
comes in at
Cup.
Spurs will inherit someone else's team, just like Conte inherited the 12th place team and got it top 4.
Stel, can I just say that a lot of Arsenal, I've got a majority of my friends are funny enough are Arsenal fans, and they all said to me, if it hadn't have been for COVID, right, during
That's a great point.
they really believed that he would have gone and they wouldn't have given him any more time. And the fact that there were no fans in there booing and giving him the grief, he managed to see out that tougher period.
I agree.
Arsenal
I
fans,
agree, but the fact he got those extra 2 years in the beginning was because he put credit in the bank. Just like Klopp, he got to 2 finals. Klopp had an awful Liverpool team. We battered that team 4-1.
4-1, I know. Was that? Yeah.
Listen, Frank's got no credit in the bank, guys, for me. He's got to prove something.
I don't think anyone says he does, though, to be fair. No one said he's got credit in the bank.
Can I, Johnny, I just want to get your take on this, right?
Can I just finish the super chat quickly?
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you finished. Sorry.
Luke Wardle, 8044. Big up to you. He says, for me, I don't buy the lack of quality argument. I agree, by the way. We have a team of internationals. The issue is the coaching and the lack of time between games. Frank is adaptable, but he's not got the time to implement. 100%, mate. So I did a comparison. According to transfer market valuations, Tottenham's squad value is 930 million euros. And that's not like 65 million Richarlison. It's not what we paid for them. That's their current value based on whatever they get to their metric. 920 million euro squad value against a Fulham squad that has a 350 million euro squad. And to be honest, I think that young kid, Josh King, dominated the game in the first half. But it's not necessarily about age, and it's not necessarily about value and quality. It's about how you put the team together and who wants it more. And I definitely think that there is a problem there, Luke, with regards, if we're trying 84 different iterations of Tottenham with different midfield spots and all these different things, then when have you got the time on the training ground? I held Ange Postecoglou to account when he claimed that the injuries weren't his fault, we don't train anymore. And then I said, well, on that basis, why is it that we went and did a back three against Everton when we were 3-0 down at halftime and then we shelved the back three model? Got to be honest, right? If you're doing all these different iterations, but there's no time to train them, I don't know. It doesn't. The logic doesn't logic on how you can expect players to understand how to play a certain way on a Sunday if you're doing it for the first time and you haven't had a chance to practice it. Big up to you, Luke. Super Early Birds, big up to you as well. He says, okay, guys, quick Pentagon. Which manager and one player would you all choose? I'm gonna save that one, buddy. I'll come back to that at the end because that will probably go off into tangent.
That's a great question. Great question.
It is, yeah. Daniel Phil, big up to you, Daniel, as well. Choo to you, mate. Thank you very much for your support as always, Danny boy. I appreciate you very much. Blaine, Super Spurs TV, big up to you, Blaino. He says, I'm genuinely starting to not care
anymore. Passion's starting to die for the game and players. Where's the Ginola of my generation? Blaine, you literally just bought a half-year season ticket, mate.
Yeah.
And you live in Northern Ireland, so you've got to fly over it. Get over it, buddy. Get over it, mate. We're all in this together. We are all in this together, Blaine. Mate, just a couple of wins and everyone feels good again. You know, everyone. It's like hair of the dog at Tottenham. You know, you're hungover. You crack open a can of Stella. Maybe I'm just talking from my own book of magic.
I was gonna say, isn't that like a Tuesday night for you, Sean?
Tuesday morning sometimes, mate.
Tuesday, fair enough.
Big up to you. And Hobbit Warlord. By the way, Blaine, member for 13 months. You must have been someone else that was from the Henry Wright legacy fan. We haven't been going that long. You were
a legacy fan of the channel.
Appreciate you, mate. Appreciate you. He came for Henry, but he stayed for the 5. Hobbit Warlord, big up to you, mate. He's putting a super sticker as well. Big up to you. Choo choo to you, Hobbit Warlord. What a name that is. What a name that is. Thank you very much, guys. Please do smash the likes. Do a quick like check to see what we got to. We're at 444.
Come on, guys.
We need to get to 500 likes immediately.
All you got to do is reach out and press that fun button on the top there and hit the subscribe button. The fun button's the easiest part. It helps the channel grow, guys. Come on.
Sean, can I just say very quickly, just jumping in, and he's saying exactly what I've been saying for a while.
Who, Jeff?
Jeff, yeah. Jeff's been sending
Hi,
texts.
Hi, Jeff. How's it going, mate?
All he said was, bottom line here, lack of ability in the team overall, no more, no less. The only solution is far better players.
Then don't predict we're going to beat Fulham 3-1.
Well, we should have.
Can we check what Jeff's prediction was?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense, please.
No,
I love Jeff. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Let's.
Sorry,
yeah, go on, Stella. Go on.
I was going to say just something I was thinking about. When Arteta came into Arsenal, I remember early doors because I was working with some Arsenal coaches at the time. They remember saying to me they're really happy that Arteta said to them that he's come in and said he's got his non-negotiables, and if you don't sign up to his non-negotiables, you're out the door. He asserted himself very early on in the camp, and those that just called his bluff, he sent them packing. With Frank, he's come in, told us how he kind of wants us to play, take risks, be brave, aggressive. I want to see that assertiveness, stamp your mark. And what he's done, and I want to get your opinion on this, guys. Sorry for going off topic, Sean, but I think it's an important conversation to have. I feel him saying 2 things in particular. One was, don't forget, you lot finished 17th. And the other comment saying,
quickly,
you can only expect to win. You can only expect to have 10 good games per season and 30 average. Those kind of comments for me, I think, talks down not only the club expectations from him, but also I feel he's belittled the players, saying you guys are only worth 17th, and you guys can't expect to have more than 10 good games per year. If I was a player hearing that, I would think, do you know what? What am I doing here? What?
Yeah, I agree. I want to hear my manager say. I want to hear my manager say, right, guys, we are going to get back in the top 4 this season, and this is how we're going to do it. Okay, simple formation. Go back to simplify football a little bit. You're fucking amazing at doing this, bro. We're gonna amplify your value. You are sensational. This is a little bit of a weak spot for you. We're going to work on that side of your game, but in the meantime, this is how we're going to cover that vulnerability. But guys, if we rally the troops with positivity and a little bit higher ambition, than coming out and saying, I'm going to level set the expectations on a negative tone.
We don't know what
he's
mentality. This is him. Unfortunately, I think still thinking he's at Brentford, because you wouldn't hear Klopp, Pep.
No, he wouldn't.
You never hear any of those managers.
Even Ange never spoke like that.
But can I? Yeah, but I think it's like I kind of come in a different angle. I kind of get it. I just don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think it was managing expectation on his part. I think there's got to be a fair balance, right? And I think using the Ange thing, Ange said 1,000,001 things that we knew were never going to happen, and almost just soundbited his way to where he was. No. But this is my point. But this is my point. But I don't think him saying it was ideal. I kind of got what he was saying, but the problem is when you make statements and comments like that, it is very, very easy for it to be easily misinterpreted. I think he meant it. Look, you'll say that I love Frank sexual is crap. I think he meant is we're going to have some good games, some all right games, and some shit games. We're starting from scratch kind of thing. But I get Sean's point. That doesn't help, right? And I get your point. It doesn't help. I think that's how it was meant to be implied.
He say that. He was very specific. 10 games, 30 games. He was very specific.
Didn't he say? I agree. He shouldn't have said it. Did he say? Was it 12, 12, 12? No.
No.
It's 10, 30, 10.
Listen, let me tell you something, right? Okay. His back was against the wall. He was under pressure and he spewed out crap.
Yeah.
Right?
Johnny, the first thing he said at the club was, one thing's for sure about, we are going to lose games.
Yeah, no, but I'm just
the first thing he said on an introduction video, mate. That wasn't great.
I agree. That
comment, those comments, he was definitely, you could see, because he was angry at some of the stuff that's been leveled at him. And he just had 2 shitty defeats. He shouldn't have said it. No way should he have said it. But we also had other managers that have said some things. Mourinho, Conte, Ange, and Frank. But we don't know when he gets into that changing room.
Ange never talked us down, Johnny.
Pardon?
Ange did the opposite.
Conte did.
But still, Ange did the complete opposite, right? He basically just said that we can win it all. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Which is fine if we want to live in a fairy tale world. We knew we were never winning the league.
For the title.
Yeah, but my point is
he said a lot of shit. He said a lot of shit.
He said so much shit.
He said a lot of shit that he hoped that everyone forgot.
He did. I agree.
Why you didn't listen? No, we heard everything you said.
We heard it all.
Yeah.
Guys, I totally agree. I totally agree with you guys, which is why I said at the start of this show, Frank is no better than Ange. That's what I said at the start of the show. I'm just asking you, if you're a player and you're hearing your manager say that, is that inspiring you to go out onto the pitch and walk through walls and pull up trees?
Am I right?
Or do you think, do you know what? Yeah, do you know what? We're not actually all that, are we? We shouldn't really expect to be.
It's a valid. It's a valid point that you raised. He also did say, to be fair, which he did say was, he mentioned about the way that we operate as a football club. He did mention that needs to change. So you can equally he mentioned
the talent ID system.
The talent ID, the way that we operate in that. He said so. I'm not saying it's bad, but
Brentford's was better.
Yeah. So equally, my point is there are merits on some good things he said and some bad things he said. So because I think he was spot on about that. I think I got the point he was trying to make. I think it was lazy and clumsy for him to say it, because you're right. Because the problem is it when we are in a bad spell, people will go back to it like we are right now, going, well, hang on a minute, are you interested? But I think the message has probably been miscommunicated, and that's on him. He's got to be much clearer as the manager.
How many gypsy curses do you think have been put on that stadium while it was being built? I mean, I don't know how many Arsenal fans are in there, Arsenal
in the construction team.
God knows what is in there. But I'll tell you something. I know it takes time to make the home a fortress, but in all the years that I've been going to see this club since I was 12 years of age, I don't really remember a moment like this, watching the club where it was so toxic, so bad, that watching so many defeats at home, watching such turgid football for such a long time, this year, last year, the year before, even under some of the previous managers. It's been such a long time. I came here, I'd rather go back to the days almost of Martin Jol and Harry Redknapp, that sort of naive time where we had fuck all expectations. We wanted to see good football. We wanted to compete. We wanted to be there. The fan base, when I went away games, they felt more united. We all had a common goal, and we were just
the best way to start that, Johnny. The best way to be able to, in my opinion, I don't know how feasible it is in reality, but I genuinely think, and I'm going against the grain here because I've always said in the past when Lubo and others have brought up the ticket prices that it's that you can't price for perfection and then deliver imperfection, whatever. And I've always said, look, you're not paying for the actual outcome, you're paying for the experience, but also the pricing of the stadium is built on supply and demand economics. But at the moment, the supply and economics don't work, right? You can see how few people, there's so many thousands of seats available. I think even though, to be fair, a lot more turned up in the end to the game on Saturday night than it looked at one point. What I do think would be, like, the club cannot, for me, they cannot ignore the raft of tickets that are available on every game on the exchange. It goes to public sale these days, which never used to be the case. One of the ways that you could factory reset as a club, and it does, like, they have to address the pricing anyway because they need to fill out the stadium, right? But one of the ways that they can kill two birds with one stone is to offer an olive branch to the match-going fans and say, we're going to reduce the ticket prices because, you know, it's not right that we're charging this much. And then, unfortunately, the results, it might set a bad precedent, but I think it would go a long way for the fans to then realize that, you know what, we are a long way from where we want to be. And we need you guys to kind of, I think
could they do that? Could they do that mid-season? Sorry. I was just saying, could they do that mid-season though?
I'm not saying mid-season. I'm saying for next season.
Okay.
Or
Can I just finish one thing? Hang on a second.
No, Johnny, you say 5, whatever it is, 5%, 7%, 10%, whatever.
Add it as credit on the account or something.
And you credit the account for next season's season ticket.
Can I just say, though, I think what we're dealing with right now, we're dealing with an economy where many, many people are struggling week in and week out. The people who are going there, they're earning their hard-earned money to get to that stadium, and if we were in a climate of prosperity, if we were in a climate of prosperity and we were going there and we were losing, it would still be bad. But I think right now people have spent all this money to come. It ain't easy to come. I see lots of posts. I've saved up to go, and I saw that last night at Fulham, or I saw that the other week against Wolves and what have you. I flew over from wherever, the first time I've flown over to watch the game. And I can understand, it's like the perfect storm. An economy that's in freefall, people who can't afford to go, a team that can't perform. We've had an owner who's done fuck all and has now left the building. There's so much uncertainty with the manager, the players, the fans, the pricing. It's all I use the words, it's like a smorgasbord of crap that we're having to deal with, and we're having to wade our way through it. We just want to see a glimpse of light, because every single fan in that stadium, everyone in this chat and everyone in this group only wants one thing: success for the club, to see success, to see some shoots of recovery. Right now, we ain't seeing none of it.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys, let me pivot this conversation, guys, to, we've got half an hour left, give or take. Let me ask you about the booing specifically. So there's been a lot of debate about this. Thomas Frank came out and said after the game, basically, that for anyone that's booing players individually are not true fans. He was then asked today whether he regretted saying it, and he sort of walked it back a little bit, but not really. Pedro Porro obviously had a row with Lucas Bergvall, and for 2 days I didn't know what the row was about. Turned out that Bergvall was going to clap the fans, and Pedro Porro said, "Don't." Like, Lucas, don't go and fucking do that. We're together on this. Basically, us against the world, and the world includes the fans. It feels very, very toxic. He then put out a social media post saying, "I'm not going to stand for people booing my teammates. To the real Tottenham fans, I love you." And I think Johnny mentioned this earlier, guys. This isn't the first time that a player has been booed at Tottenham. It's not even the first time in recent history. Emerson Real was booed. Davinson Sanchez was booed. We had issues with Eric Dyer running into the crowd to defend his brother. We had about 6 occasions last year, or 7 maybe occasions last year, where Matthias Tell was defending the manager. The manager was having arguments at Bournemouth away. He put his ears up to the crowd. It's really, really bad. To me, quickly, I think that booing a player in the game is just stupidness. It's stupidity, because it's never going to get a good reaction and it's never going to help anything. But I think that it's understandable that 60,000 people, there's going to be a section of the fan base that are just like, about enough, especially on a Saturday night game where there's a few beers have been drunk. They're a bit lively. And then there's also a few fans in the fan base that are going to be sheep, that when they hear someone else boo, they wouldn't otherwise start the booing, but they'll do it once they hear it because of herd mentality. It doesn't solve or help anything, guys. But it's a contentious area of conversation because there's a game coming up next week as well, and I'm terrified to think what the atmosphere is going to be like. Luba, I'll start with you, mate. What's your thoughts?
Firstly, when a player makes a mistake and it costs the team a goal, nobody feels it more than that player. They're no fools. They understand the game. They know if they've made a rick. And some players will just get on with it. Other players, you put your arm around, or you encourage them. That's the job of Romero or Mickey on Saturday, whoever. So booing a player is actually counterproductive because we're all there. We all want our team to win. We want the players to do well, and you're shitting on a player when he's at his lowest. Put bluntly. So for me, that doesn't help. You understand the fans' frustration because this isn't 6 minutes. This has been built up for me over 25 years, pretty much. So I understand it. It's no good. The fans have got to get behind the players. I hope that the fans get behind the team tomorrow. I mean, because we've got to make a bit of noise. We're so bloody high up at Newcastle. It's a joke. But I really hope that the fans let the players know that they're behind them. And the away fans are good. The away fans get behind the team. It's very different. And listen, it's easy to say the away results have been much better. Performances have been much better this season than the home games. And 3,000 or 4,000 will witness these away games, and the vast majority, 50,000 plus, have seen rubbish. It's been. I mean, we've had three home wins in the last 21. So yeah. I get it. I understand it. All of us are spending money. It's all tough out there. There's a cost of living crisis. And people stretch themselves. People go into debt to watch their football team. Right. And the team is not performing. And yes, respect is earned. It's a chicken and egg situation. But I've got to tell you something. I'll be up there, and those Newcastle fans won't wait till the players come out. They'll be behind them. It won't be the players lifting the fans. It'll be the other way around. And you see that at Liverpool.
You see it all the clubs.
We'll see that at Forest in a Sunday week. Their fans are the same. You've got to get behind your team, and it's one of these. And you've got to say, look, we want the team to do well. Performances over the last 10 games have been poor. And we started off the season well. It's been going downhill since we came back after the international break. And the fans have got to say, right, we're supporting the team. Let's lift the team. Let's lift the players.
No, how can you lift the players when you say they're crap every week?
No, but you've got to try and lift the players still because you want the players. Listen, I don't think the players are. I don't think the squads is as strong as I initially thought it was. I don't think they're crap. You don't play Premier League.
You said if we lose to Fulham, then you will lower your valuation of their ability.
Absolutely. But any player.
So if you think they're Fulham,
we're going back to the same again. We're going back to the same thing.
Logic, Johnny. How can you say the players?
Let me finish. The logic.
Going backwards, if you think they're that crap.
Still, you're comparing play. Listen. You want to compare players still. Compare this lot to the team.
No, I'm not comparing players. I'm questioning your logic.
My logic. Every player who plays Premier League football plays at a high level. Now there are levels and there are levels and there are levels, right? Yeah. But they're no mugs if you're playing Premier League football. Right. But are they good enough for a team of Tottenham's level? Tottenham's a big club. We're not an elite club. We're a big club. There are higher expectations for Tottenham. There are Palace, Fulham, Brentford, West Ham.
Okay, so if you think they're not good enough for Tottenham, how on earth can you then tell people get behind them if you don't think they should be?
There's a difference there.
If you go to a game, right? If you've scrimped and scraped to get to a game and saved for this is your game or this is your season ticket, and you get to that ground and the players look like they can't be asked, and the guy's walking off down the tunnel, fuck you, I ain't coming to clap you off. I'm going down the tunnel. I'm only on 300 grand, 100 grand a week, right? I'm going back to my comfy little place, right? That's a player not having respect for the fans, right? It's a two-way street. players have to respect the players. And
Tony, I don't disagree with you. I don't
it's a
disagree with
two-way
that.
street. It's not there.
No, I'm questioning Lubo, who's giving a rally cry to the fan base to get behind the players that he has written off.
But
I didn't write the team off. I didn't write the team off. My expectations have dropped up.
Can
Right, so
can
if
I
you've got
just
low
Hang
expectations,
on. Hang on first. Phil, let me answer.
Yeah,
We start
you
the
haven't
season.
explained it.
No, right, I'll explain it. We start the season. We played well against PSG. We won 3 of the first 4 league games. Right,
Yeah.
we go into the first break, and you're looking at it, and you're fairly confident. And as the season goes by, everybody can change their opinion in hindsight. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
So you look at the amount of games where we haven't played well since then, where Vicario saved us in Monaco and Bodo. Everton was a tough watch. We scored at the right time. You know, Man United, we were crap apart from the last 15 minutes. Even then, we managed to give away 2 points. Arsenal and Chelsea were horrendous. So you look at the way it's regressing, and your opinion changes as events unfold. That's normal. Yeah. That's normal. You know, when someone's looking at a government,
I get all that.
Get all that. And that's my point. But
are you now settled, Lubo, on the fact that the player's not good enough? Or if we put in a good shift, are you going to start turning around saying that Archie Gray's the guy again? Because you do flip-flop more than Javianas.
No, I don't.
You do, mate. You do. It's madness.
Lubo hasn't answered my question. Lubo, you have now downgraded your thought of our players.
That's right.
Your expectation of our players is very, very low. Is that fair to say?
I didn't say it was very low. I think we're mid-table as against the sixth that I thought we.
Do you think our players are worse than Fulham's squad?
Sorry, do I think?
Do you think our squad of players is worse than Fulham's?
It shouldn't be, but it looked that way.
What do you think they're worse than
us? They look better than us. I'm sorry, still we should have bossed that, and we didn't.
So you're struggling to answer it, but what you're saying is you think our squad is worse than Fulham's.
Do I think this squad? I think the squad's worse than Fulham's.
Oh, come on, Lubo. It's not even a question, mate.
This is ridiculous.
It's not even a question.
Hang on 1 second.
Sean, he can't say yes because then it means he's got to blame Frank. But he doesn't want to blame Frank, so he's trying to.
We're 1 point ahead of Fulham. We are 1 point ahead of Fulham.
Move on.
That's not the question. That's not the question. Lubo, you got splinters again, my man. You are. It's madness. It's a madness take to sit there and think to say 1 week that because we put in a good shift against PSG, the players. I'm pretty sure. Did I not hear you say I don't want to hear that the players can't make it now because of that performance? And then 24 hours or 72 hours later on, you're saying the players are not good enough. Like you flip flop on the 180s, mate. Whichever way the wind is blowing, it's wildly inconsistent.
Sean, at some stage, do you actually look at it and think we're crap against Wolves? Wolves have come to the lane and played us off the park. Fulham have come to the lane and won comfortably. We're not talking about Arsenal and Chelsea. We're talking about Wolves and Fulham.
Yeah,
the squad's not good enough.
No, but it was good enough to put in a shift.
You think our squad is worse than Wolves?
It was
we
good
should
enough
be hammering these teams. Still.
It was good enough.
You think our squad is worse than Wolves?
It doesn't necessarily come down to the talent on the pitch. It comes down to how they're motivated they are, how happy they are, how familiar they are with the system they're being asked to play. There's a million other reasons that can come down to it, mate. People, loads of good teams have stinky seasons because they're not happy because they've stopped playing for the manager. It's not all about talent. And Luba, I'll point you back to the performance we put in the PSG game. Right, we are capable. Not just this PSG game, the previous PSG game. Correct. Manchester City away. Right, Manchester City have got a £1.4 billion valued squad. And yet we go there every single year and beat them. It's more than just the technical ability. Manchester City feel like we have some sort of hold over them at their place and also at our place until recently. So it's not just about the technical ability. It's about other factors. But you pivot. I'm not usually calling people out, right? But you do pivot whichever way the wind is going, mate, on this argument.
Sean, we are an average mid-table team. We've had some very good performances. And we've had some very poor performances.
So we're better than
when we talk about players, when we talk about the difference between a good player and a quality player, you know, you look at players that you know are going to give you.
Lubo, are we better than Fulham?
No, let me finish. Let me finish.
The question.
No, let me bloody finish.
You won't answer the question.
I'm answering the question. I'm answering the question.
Yes or no?
Where you've got players who give 7, 8, 9 out of 10, and they are good players, and then you've got inconsistent players. You say, well, they're not quite so good. They're average. Eric Dyers, Ben Davies for Tottenham. They'd have some really good games, but that would drop off because they're not top level. We're the same. We have good performances and we have poor performances. We are a mid-table average team. That's what we are. Let's stop deluding ourselves.
Is our squad better than Fulham? That's all I asked. Are we better than Fulham?
Lubo, yeah, go on. Yeah, answer the question. Yes or no, Lubo?
Are we what? Sorry.
I can't.
Which question are you asking now?
No, Lubo, you are a fence sitter of the highest magnitude. You are a fence sitter of the highest magnitude. Let's move on. I can't be.
You know the question, Lubo. You know the question. We can hear your brain ticking.
We have a better squad than Fulham.
The hamster wheel is going round and round.
Yeah,
his head.
We should have, but you know what? We're only 1 point ahead of Fulham.
He still hasn't answered.
Yes or no, Lubo?
He can't say.
At the moment, we're pretty level with Fulham, aren't we?
He can't say yes because then that means he has to criticise Frank. So he has to dwindle about, oh, how do I get out of this?
Not a question. It's not a question of criticising Frank.
It really is.
Listen, we are a mid-table average team.
We are fucking better than Fulham, Lubo. We are better than Fulham, man. Wake up. Come on.
Were we? We weren't Saturday, were we?
We are better than Fulham. Yeah, because the manager and the club has lost the plot. Fulham.
I mean, look, I'll jump in because I don't know if Lubo's going to ever answer, and I feel like I've been waiting to ask my point for about half an hour. But look, do we have a better squad than Fulham? Yeah, we do. One thing, what I will say though, we have only won one game in the last 6 against Fulham, regardless. So we haven't been very good against them recently, anyway. Look, should we have done better? Look, we will never know what would have happened if we didn't have an absolute kamikaze, awful first 6 minutes, right? No, I want to sort of go back to the actual point of the conversation was about the booing, right? I think that was the whole premise.
Look, it was.
I think, look, for me, and people will not like this. I kind of get what Pedro Porro's saying. I think the problem is, right? I think the issue is people will go, well, you've lost. By the way, Pedro Porro was awful he was awful. So this isn't me sitting here defending Pedro Porro. I think the point he's making, I don't think it's about booing. I think it's the targeted bullying that he's on about. And I think that for me, he's right to call out the targeted bullying on Vicario, whether or not I thought Vicario had an absolute mare, but yeah, look, I'll flip it back, right? I think we are very easy, and we're very easy to just boo, right? I think I've been to one game this season. I don't go anymore. I went once. I got a couple of tickets for the Copenhagen game. One thing I noticed, right? It's very easy. I've noticed our fans are very quick when we boo, right? Very easy to boo. I've noticed though, I don't see any getting behind the team, trying to motivate anyone. I don't see any of that, and maybe that's just me watching from the TV. When I went to the Copenhagen game, I could hear a pin drop. I was sitting above the Copenhagen fans, and I've never heard anything so fucking nuts over them. But my worry for me is what benefit does the booing achieve? I don't think it. I get it after the game. We had a nightmare. I get it, but for me. When do the fans have a responsibility at the stadium to motivate? As Johnny made a good point, your fans are going to go to Newcastle, by the way. Newcastle tomorrow. You know those Geordies are going to be cheering those lot on from minute one. They're behind us in the table. So we've got a better goal difference than them. But my point is, they're behind us in the table, but they're not. booing their players off at the end of the game. They're cheering them on. So, what responsibility? I'm only putting the point of what responsibility do the fans have to have before you can boo? If we've had an absolute stinker, fine. But where's the motivation during the game? Because I hear none of that. You guys go to more games than I do, so I don't know.
You're right.
No, I think it is.
As many games as we have, you can't expect the fans to be patient and tolerant of it. Newcastle United don't boo off their fans because Newcastle United don't lose at home.
Correct. There's the problem.
That's fair. That's fair. But they are. But that's a fair point.
Let me tell you something. When I'm having sex with my wife and she starts booing me halfway through during my performance,
hang on.
It's obviously gonna put you off, right? Okay. We all know, right?
I wouldn't know, mate, to be honest.
Booing halfway through.
I've got really horrible
Where is this
really
gone
horrible
to?
Listen, mate,
visualizations.
come on, my guys, right?
This is rabbit hole shit.
Booing halfway through, right? Where's your sense of humour, guys? Come on. Booing a player who's struggling, or booing a boxer during a fight when he's struggling to find his feet, or booing a footballer when he's just made a mistake. I think Vicario, who, by the way, Fabrizio Romano has come out and said that Inter Milan are interested in signing for him. I'm willing to start up a Just Giving page so we can get him there and get Mike Maignan. Mike Maignan from AC Milan. Listen, he is a great shot stopper. No two ways about it. But as a complete package goalkeeper, I don't think he's the man. I've got nothing against him personally, but I don't think it suits anybody to be booing a player. I will never forget Davinson Sanchez coming on as a sub. His family had come over from Colombia to watch him. His wife, his mum, his kid. He came on, and the whole stadium started booing him, and the kid went off. Player went off in tears in front of his whole family. Mate, that's what is that shit? And they did it with Emerson Royal. Meanwhile,
by the way, he left Tottenham and went on to, was it Galatasaray? And they fucking love him over there. They love him. They
love him because they treat him well. And you know what? Emerson Royal went to AC Milan, won a medal. He's just gone to the Copa Libertadores with Flamengo, and he's won another trophy. He's happy as Larry, right? We have a history. You said it before. Eric Dyer being abused from the stands. We have a history of it, right? Yeah. And we aren't clean. The fans aren't clean. The players aren't clean. Enoch aren't clean. The medical team aren't clean. And the recruitment team aren't clean. They all have shit on them, okay?
100%.
Us included.
Pizza pie of blame, Johnny, or as you like to call it, a smorgasbord of blame.
Smorgasbord of blame, 100%.
Let me ask this, guys. In fact, let me do some super chats quickly. There's 6 and they're piling up. And we really appreciate you guys. Still got to ask again, though. I think at the last count, I saw we just got over 500 likes.
Oh, come on, guys. Hit the like button.
We should be at like 700 likes. There's 1,200 people been here, 1,300 people the whole show.
Embarrassing.
It doesn't take a lot for half of you to hit the like button. Or hit the dislike button. I don't really care. If you don't like the channel, then hit the dislike button. But just hit a button, for fuck's sake.
It's the thumb.
Hit a button. We're going to save this one for the last one from Super Early Birds. I think we put this up before. Levynomics Connor 1882. He says, I hope to see Ricky again, but unfortunately, it's just that donut from the Spurs Talk Show. Back to the cauldron of toxicity Saturday. Hooray! Appreciate you, Connor.
Fair point.
I prefer Captain. He's gone. I prefer Captain Bozo myself, not donut. And if you are going to call me a donut, call it the right way. DONUT. You donut. Appreciate you, Lee. Appreciate you, Connor, mate. Good to see you, man. Thank you very much for the super chat. You Burke and Wiz Magic. Big up to you, my man. He said, "Boab Wiz, I saw you put in a brilliant comment earlier, mate. I haven't seen your name too often before, but fantastic comment. Remember, sorry fixes nothing, only change does. 100%. Empty words mean nothing at all.
Yep.
You're a wise man, Wiz Magic. You're a wise man, mate. I appreciate you very much. Trek88 is back in saying Lubo and Perchy wearing Chelsea blue.
No, this is Tottenham blue.
Tottenham navy blue, that isn't blue. It? Yeah.
This is navy blue. Someone's colourblind.
This is funeral black.
This is grey, like the overcast Tottenham.
Yeah.
Rise above Tottenham. You know.
Beg your
Big up
pardon.
to you, Jack. Thank you very much indeed.
White and blue,
Clouds
boys,
are
white and
gathering,
blue.
guys. The clouds are gathering.
The clouds
White
are very
and blue.
much gathering. 100% they are. Luke Wardle, big up to you, mate. Another one from you. Thank you very much, Lukey. He says, we lost 4-1 to Chelsea and got clapped off the pitch. It's not the fans. It's not on the fans to G them up. It's all on the quality of performance and the effort. Very simple. That was under Angeball, wasn't it? When we went down to 9 men and we still played the high line. Yeah, we did. We did give them a rout. But you know what it was? I think we were first in the league at that particular point in time, and it was the first defeat. But we'd gone. What was it? 8 wins and 2 draws in the first 10 games. So we were singing, you know, Ange Postecoglou's name. The Robbie Williams song had just been released. Everyone was high, and then you see that you go down to 9 men. You're never going to win a game when you're already losing against 9, and you go down to 9 men. And so I think that was a slightly different circumstance. I don't think it would be applauded quite as much if it hadn't worked for the most part, because we were only a minute away from getting a 2 to equalise, weren't we, in the 88th minute, 89th minute. Big up to you, Lukey. Those good point, well made. It isn't on the fans to G the fact. I think that the olive branch has to come from the players first in this situation. They got to give us something to get behind, and I think we will if we see it. Big up to you. And Blaine's come back in. Big up, Blaine. He says, Johnny getting booked halfway. Well, sir, it was your fault giving her my first referee kit. You deserve red cards for foul play. Wow. That's actually a sensational comment, Blaine. Love that. Thank you very much indeed. Johnny, you got a response to Blaine there, mate?
No. Listen, it was, apparently it was a fully justified boo halfway through, but
I didn't even get to the point. She might be able to just about get the letter B out of her mouth before I finished, and I'm going for a cigarette and a sandwich.
Yeah. Is it over yet? Yeah.
Yeah, done. Sorry, love. Try again next time. Swagman says, where is Vinay, the great fan communicator? This is interesting.
Great super chat. Brilliant super chat.
There, go on, Stoff.
No, I think it's just excellent super chat. He's meant to be our new PR guy. He's meant to be building bridges between fan and club, and he's meant to be the guy that... Do you know what? This goes back to what Perchy said, where he said the club have to come out and say something now. And I think he's right. But part of me thinks, though, people like Vinay are staying quiet because they're thinking if this carries on another 2-3 games, they are going to sack Frank. That's why they haven't come out.
Communication, right? He has had more communication probably in the first 3-4 months of his tenure than most of the others have had in the last 2 or 3 years. But
Johnny, most of that was high level stuff, right? About poo-pooing any idea of sales and all that sort of shit, right?
I think it's very easy and comfortable to speak when times are good. It's when you hit the tough times you want to hear someone speak. And he has gone just as quiet as all the people before him that have left the club now. Donna Cullen, Levy.
We'll see, won't we?
Johnny, I think the reason he's gone quiet is because deep down they know they've got that card that you spoke about, that free card to get rid of one manager. That's why they're not speaking, because they're gonna. I think. Look, give it another couple of games. I think if Frank doesn't turn it around, he's gone. I really think
they're already sounded out because they sort of dismissed Glasner as an option prior to Big Ange, and if there is mass discontent there, they will definitely sniff around and see if he's free. If this carries on, 100%. He's only got what, 6 months left of his contract, Glasner.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the compensation process is for managers versus players. Obviously, valuations on players that only have 6 months left come down pretty sharpish at the end of a contract. But for managers, I don't know if it's just like a set fee for compensation. I don't know. If anyone else knows, let me know. Big up to you, Emma Morton. Sorry, Lube.
No, I was just saying he wasn't overly complimentary towards Parish.
No, he's not. But
no,
he
can't the bus earlier. Yeah,
we signed up 27 of Frank's backroom staff, so it might be a bit of an issue.
Also, I've got an issue.
It's fucking expensive to get rid of Thomas Frank right now, unless you sack the rest.
I've got a massive issue with Vinay as well because he hasn't replied to Lubo's email to come on our show.
Yeah.
No. He didn't personally. I did get a reply from Mike Stevens though.
Yeah, who said, "Go fish."
Basically, sling it up, but keep in touch.
Thanks, but no
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah. Don't call us, we'll call you. Yeah. Emma Morton, big up to you. Choo to you, Emma. Appreciate you very much indeed for the super sticker. Very cool of you. Very much appreciate your support. Thank you very much indeed. And Trek88 says, fair play, Lubo. How was Archie great anyway? I think this is referring back to your inability to answer a straight question. Might call you NASA from now on. Lubo NASA. A Lubonaut.
Question about Archie Gray. He'll give you a straight answer straight away.
Disappointing Saturday.
Hopefully, he lands on the point quicker than we could land on the moon again.
There you go. Well, you got an answer. You got the answer. There you go.
Lubonaut, we're going to call you from now on, mate. 100%. Never a straight answer coming out of you. Big up to you, Trent88 as well. And Spurs OC from Orange County. Big up to you, my man. He says, Frank, losses equals 5. Pep losses equals 4. Give him a chance.
Guardiola.
I'm sure he's on about Guardiola. I'm assuming, man. Not Pepe. I think Pep.
No, yeah, I think that's Pep. Yeah. And look, Eddie Howe. By the way, people saying that Eddie, like with Perch, you were saying that Newcastle fans are 100% behind Eddie Howe. They're not. They're not. But they're still not. On football on the channel that can't be named. There's like 3 or 4 regular Newcastle fans. Sniffer being one of them. A guy called Foxy, another one. They all want Eddie Howe gone.
Yeah.
But my point. No, but I think the difference is I'm more talking about in game. Like I'm more talking, like for example, whatever our opinions or agendas or whatever are, when you walk into a stadium, like I'm not being funny. I don't rate Richarlison, but if he's 1-on-1 with goal, I'm cheering him on to score a goal. Right? Is my point. Like my point is where I'm trying to get with this.
Apart from maybe Stell, if Matthias Tell was through on goal 3 times, there was a chance of a hat trick.
He did say he doesn't want to score a hat trick. But my point. But this is where I'm trying to get with it, though. Like when I talk about,
he still hasn't scored in the league. Just saying, he still hasn't scored in the Premier League. Just saying.
But my point is though, like it's not about wanting a manager in, wanting a manager out, just liking the lineup, not liking it. I think fans do have an obligation, though, to pump up at the start of it. I think, and it is something that was mentioned on here before about, I think it's probably something Lubo's mentioned before about the sort of pricing, and we don't seem that. We seem to be turning up for a bit of a day out. If we lose, who gives a shit? We go home. Like, I think there is a real issue when it comes to atmosphere at Tottenham. And I've noticed when the boos happen, we're very quick to boo. We want to boo really quickly at the end of a game. But I don't see any motivation at the beginning of a game, like going, come on, let's get. Where's the songs before? Like, used to go, win, lose, or draw. You used to sing your heart out throughout the game. Like, maybe times have changed and I'm just being old in that sense. But like, I just think I think something's changed. I don't know if it's just
the world, mate. The world's angry, bro. The world is angry.
Agreed, but everyone.
Spurs have become bloody shit. That's what it is. We are so bad. We're awful.
But my point is, I'm talking about before balls even kicked. Like,
because they remember the last time they were there, mate. Perchy, I haven't gone to the last 4 games. I can't sell my ticket on the exchange. It never gets snapped up. I can't justify going there. But whenever I do, if I'm umming and ahhing, can I be bothered? It's a 3-hour train ride up there or whatever, whatever all that stuff. I get there. I walked after the Aston Villa game. I walked out after 75 minutes or something. I was like, fuck this. It's not worth it.
And that's
it's because Lubo's told every fan that the players aren't good. He's told you they're not good enough. They're not good as Spurs.
I'll be honest.
Can you support a team that he's told you's crap?
Still, I'm just a major influencer now.
You are. You do the circuit. You're on all the big channels now. You are.
Now, to be fair, Lubo is big time nowadays, but he's on all the big boy shows nowadays. Look, I just think. Look, I get it, right? I do get your point. I just think when it was before, I think, is it because we have this overarching expectation that we think we should be better than we are? Is it that? Like, I don't know the answer, but I'm literally
Percy, it's because
spitballing.
we believe we're better than Wolves. We believe we're better than Bodo. We believe we're better than Fulham, and rightly so, because we are, and we're being let down by multiple factors. We're being let down by the transfers. We're being let down by players that are still lingering at the club.
Here's a question.
Ben Davies. We're let down by the manager who tinkers so much it's disrupted our flow. There's so many things. Fans are fed up, and do you know what pisses fans off the most? When we lose to Chelsea and they say sorry, they go and do it again against Arsenal and say sorry. The word sorry has no value anymore. They say sorry, it's meaningless.
I don't disagree. I think players apologising after defeats, I think it is a bit mundane. It's very PR-y, and I actually don't disagree with you. I think you're right on that. But for me,
finish these super chats, guys. We go around in circles here.
Oh, sorry.
Russell Coit says, might be time to revisit Lubo's manifesto. Please, God, for the love of God.
It was a good manifesto. It was good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Captain Obvious. In other words, water is wet. Buy low, sell high. Try harder. Do your best. Everything will be fine in Captain Lubo land.
Tomorrow is the day after today. What?
Lubo's give 100% manifesto would be lovely.
Score more goals than the opponents.
Yeah,
you can mock. I've got to say, someone once said
the secret recipe for football success by
someone
better to be abused than ignored. You carry on.
100%.
You carry on. I'm a little bit jealous that I put it together and you didn't. That's okay. It's not a problem.
All right, listen, we're going to round off. We're going to finish up with this one from Super Early Birds. Big up to you, mate. Sorry, it's taken us a long time to get back to it, but it's a great question to finish up. Quick Pentagon. One manager and one player would you all choose for now? If we were to bring in a manager now and one player, who would you go for? Johnny, I'll start with you.
Okay, I'm going to go easy. I'm going to say Mark Gahey and Oliver Glasner.
Is it? Is it player from the same club as well? Is that
No.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I don't want to be hearing like fucking, what the world is.
And play three at the back. Sorry, let me.
Yeah.
Three at the back. Oliver Glasner, Mark Gahey.
Okay.
Three at the back.
Lubo, one player, one manager.
Pochettino, Harry Kane.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think that we were doing fantasy stuff.
It's not completely beyond the realms of possibility. Lubo, Johnny, fucking hell. Perchy?
I'll go Glasner, Wharton. I think we're dying for a midfielder that can pass the ball.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was possible. You never know.
Ruben Neves, you can throw just a ball player midfielder, Ruben Neves or someone like that. Yeah.
Still?
Mikel Arteta and William Saliba. No,
It's gone full Arsenal.
I agree with Lubo. Poch all day long for me. He just gets us. He understands us. And
I love Poch, but
a player I really, really, really like that guy that scored those two bangers against us. I always get his name wrong. The PSG guy, Vitinha.
Coutinho. What a player!
You're never going to get him in a million years. Forget about it.
Okay, the guy with the really good dribbler that we played against when we drew Monaco.
Aklush.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love someone like that. He's a proper football player. I like him.
He doesn't solve us.
I don't think he solves the problems we do have at the moment, but yeah, I would have him in my team.
What about you, Tony boy?
I would go for Pochettino and I want to see Ademola Lookman come to the club. I get told off in all my comments. We know you fucking love Lookman. Can you please go one episode of any show without mentioning his name? And the answer is no, which is why I just used him because I hadn't used him yet. We're about to round off, so
you weren't allowed to use him, Sean.
We need to do the predictions, by the way, because there's a game tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, 100%. Just super quick. Sniffer's come back in again. Big up to Sniffer. He says, "Is Lubo in a 1980s Hearster's office?"
What is a Hearster or Hearster's office, Sniffer?
Someone with a lot of files.
Every one of those 7 different folders that you can see behind is a bit of a broader breakdown of what each item on his manifesto really means, right? So when he says buy low, sell high, what he's got is about 2,000 pages full of like NASDAQ and stock markets and the graphs of all the charts. So you can say this is what we should do with players, right? We should buy them here and we should sell them here. Just so you can sort of broaden out your 7-point manifesto.
By the way, Sean,
I thought it was everything he said about Levy out in there. Anything he's mentioned about Levy out, he files away.
So I've Googled the and it says
you've seen the Epstein files. There's the Epstein files, and then there's the Lubo files. None of those have been released yet. No one knows what lies inside those files.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's his manifesto. It's his manifesto for Tottenham.
No.
It's the Tottenham manifesto.
Have a proper Lubo tonight. By the way, just a couple here. Sean, your namesake, Sean DeBoss, Eddie Howe and Victor Osman, good shouts. Sully 1952. I wish it was possible from you, Bill Nick and Jimmy Greaves.
Yeah.
That will be brilliant getting them back.
Yeah, listen, look, I've got to be honest with you. I thought Lookman was off limits, but I would, if you saw Lookman in the week, a goal and assist against Eintracht Frankfurt away, an unbelievable goal he scored at the weekend. That manager is gone. He's back on track. We got to get him out. Get him out. Goals, assists, pace, power, can beat a man, and he's homegrown. Everything we need. Thank you very much.
We need our Tottenham back, don't we?
We need a miracle.
I know we disagree and we have our arguments. I do honestly feel, just having watched 20 games, we are desperate for a manager at this club who's got something about them in terms of real strong personality, but not explosive personality. Someone that's got some real character about them, who's going to back themselves. Someone who believes in themselves and doesn't.
Listen, De Zerbi, for what it's worth, right? He's doing wonderful things at Marseille. He was very, very good at Brighton. The guy is an absolute
fucking
nutcase, right? It will be so fun. Content will content all day, every day with De Zerbi.
YouTube will be great.
Be unbelievable.
I think you know my thoughts on De Zerbi. I think good manager, but I think this football club will absolutely shit the bed with someone like him in charge. He'll be coming in going, I want Mason Greenwood. And the club are going, I don't think we can do that. And then he'll go, well, if you don't, I'm out of here, and it'll be Conte all over again.
Apparently his wife's feet. Right, let's do the predictions, guys. Right. As I'm shit at predictions, and we all know it, I'm going to go Newcastle 3, Tottenham 1.
3-1.
All gone quiet.
No, I think you're probably not a bad prediction, Lubo.
The same.
Listen, let me emphasise here. I want us to win. I'll be
of course. But you also need the points, so you've got to be realistic, right? He's a club.
No.
We're going 3-1 as well, Lubo. Yeah, Stel?
Do you know what? After everything I've said, I'm so worried that the video... No, I'm worried the video I've got of Perchy saying we're going to beat Newcastle. I reckon we beat them 2-1. It's going to come back and bite me so fucking hard. It's going to come and bite me.
I'm going to say 2-1 because if that video...
I'm so worried that it's... You know what? I wouldn't put it past us, though, to do something.
It's the sort of result we'll end up nabbing. Look, I think it'll be a hard game, but for content's sake, I'm going 2-1 Tottenham because content's got a content, and I tell you what, the cooking video that will be put out if we actually somehow win it. Look, I think it'll be a tough game. I think it'll be a tough game genuinely, but I think we'll.
All right. Do you know what? 4-1 Newcastle.
Okay, Lubo.
3-1 Newcastle.
Sean's what we need. Big points available here, Sean.
We are not scoring. I'm going to go for... Do I go 2-0 or 4-0? I'm going to go...
in the middle.
Yeah, I'll meet in the middle. I'll go 3-0.
Okay, interesting. 3-0, 3-1, me and Lubo. 2-1 to Tottenham. And
come on, Spurs.
I've got 1-1.
For content's sake, come on.
Guys, if you're in the chat, before you go, please hit the like button, guys. The like game. Your support game's strong. Your like game's shocking. It's a bit like us in against Arsenal and Chelsea.
I'm actually going to change it. Can I go for 4? I'm going to go 4-0 Newcastle.
Are you sure you're changing it?
Yeah, 4-0 Newcastle. Yeah.
Can I ask you one question, guys? Because we've all, except for Perchy, everyone's predicted we're going to get pounded, and so's the chat. If we do get hammered by Newcastle, and then we don't beat Brentford, do you think that's it? It's done, or do you think?
Yeah, I think if he doesn't win one of the two, he's gone.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think if he loses both, I think it's going to be very difficult to keep him. The problem is, I don't want just anyone coming in. That's my whole problem. I'd rather let him roll to the end of the season rather than put in some temporary guy who could take us to an even worse place because he knows he's not staying. So anyway, we shall see.
What I don't want to see us do is sack him because of the fan reaction and then not have an already... Like, I really hope that they are having conversations with agents right now.
Of course it would be, yeah.
Of course. Well, you say of course, Perchy, but the tale of it's the story of the Tottenham. We sack managers and have no fucking clue where we're going to go next.
Sean, we're not
the Nuno debacle. Like, go on, sorry.
We are not going to prize a top manager for this project now.
No,
it's not going to happen. Which is why if they choose to get rid of him, they've got to identify an interim. I don't. Glasner.
Would you take Harry Redknapp back for 6 months?
Yes. He's a bit old.
How old is Harry now?
I don't think Harry would take it. I don't think he would. I think he would galvanise.
Harry Redknapp. If
you take the money,
that's the point.
£2 million quid for 6 months. It's a free hit. He'd take it all day long. But I don't know how old is he now.
It'd be very Spurs to sack Thomas Frank and then appoint Ryan Mason from West Brom. That's a very Spurs thing to do, isn't it? Go back and buy the manager that we let go over to West Brom.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
Brentford's too long out of football, to be honest. I'm not sure if he'd still have it. He's also probably tired and
he's doing his own thing. He's doing his own thing, isn't he?
Brentford's next 2 games are Arsenal away and then Spurs away.
Yeah. Okay.
Two London derbies for them back to back, both away from home as well.
Guys,
listen, we're gonna round off. Massive thank you to everyone. It's been unbelievable numbers.
To everybody.
1350, I think, at one point. I want to say massive thank you. Please do smash the like button. I have put all the links in there. Please get over to Spurs Corner for Stelz. Stelz trying to grow his new channel, or his third attempt at the channel because of problems. Fourth attempt at channels. Please get over to Football Inc. with Johnny and I spend our time. Please get over to Spurs Talk Show and Sean Butler TV, where you can find different types of my content. And please get over to Ian_Lubin, isn't it? 61 or something? Lubo_61 on Twitter. I put the links in the chat. If you haven't done it by now, you probably won't, but they'll be in the description as well. We will see you on Thursday, and hopefully we'll have some better news for you. But tomorrow night, I mean, we've all gone home wins, apart from Perchy, who's only doing it for content's sake. So none of us have particular faith in this one, but appreciate everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you on the next one. As always, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jeff. Bye, Jeff.